What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to another review for the Spurs 1, Chelsea 4 match today. Oh man, it's a bittersweet one. We will go over it, but before we do, ladies and gents, you already know what to do. Be sure, if you haven't done so already, smash up that like button, as it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Be sure to subscribe if you are brand new here. We're on our way to 3K subscribers, and we could use all the help and company we can get to achieve that goal. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification if you haven't done so already. Also, check out the links below for all other socials, like the Twitter, the my other YouTube channels, Ahmeds YouTube channel, Sarcasm City. All that stuff is down below in the description. Be sure to also check out the comment section. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought about today's game and today's result and the things we are going to be discussing. And if you haven't done so already, we do have memberships, 4 different tiers starting at 99p. If you are a member, be sure to use up those emojis in the chat. Big up to everyone who is here right now, and big up to Scott who just joined us. And listen, quick summary of the game. Not the ideal lineup that I was thinking about. We were shit. We will discuss it. But yeah, pretty much game didn't start off so well. Dejan Kulusevski taking advantage of the fact that Levi Cole is not a left back and taking all the space in the world needed to get a deflected shot to have Spurs jump ahead in the game, leaving us to play catch up essentially. We get an opportunity in the box where Romero, being Romero, gets himself essentially sent off for a clear red card to Enzo in the box. Cole Palmer takes a penalty. Vicario almost saves it, but Palmer gets enough power behind it so that it goes right past the keeper. We are talking about going forward here now, a 10-man Spurs that Chelsea were struggling to do anything against. And then go into the second half. Chelsea have the advantage when it comes to numbers, unable to execute, unable to exploit it. And then Destiny Udogie gets himself his second yellow of the game after a controversial two-footed tackle earlier in the first half that probably should have gotten him sent off as well. We will discuss that shortly. And he gets himself sent off on a second yellow, deservedly so. And then Chelsea finally, with so much struggle, score in the 75th minute, the second goal to give them the lead. And then Jackson finds himself finally getting a second and a third goal in the stoppage time of the second half, giving him a hat trick, which I hope, out of everything that comes out of this game, it's confidence for Jackson so that we can rely on this guy to be our striker for the rest of the season. But today, not very. I think the numbers, the GNA, I think it's deceiving. This game today is also the scoreline very deceiving. I'll leave it to you guys. I mean, Oliver, you were going off backstage. Go ahead and have your say on what you think about today's game.
I mean, just to summarize, this game was just a game of absolute clowns. And I don't just include Chelsea in that. You know, Ange Postecoglou, suicide tactics. And I know this doesn't really concern us, but suicide tactics from him, rash challenges from Spurs, terrible refereeing, and then you get to us. Like, what the hell was that? I mean, if anyone's taken any... And I'll preface this by saying, unless you're at the game and you're bantering the home fans, fair enough. If anyone else is taking positives from that game, then I'm sorry, you don't have any standards to this game whatsoever. And the fact that guys like Nicholas Jackson, I've backed Nicholas Jackson, but the fact that you're suing after that attacking performance from this team is an absolute disgrace. I don't know how anyone can argue for that.
Like, I can't lie. I actually kind of rate that, you know. Like I actually kind of rate that.
I'm still hot, Scott. Like maybe I'll calm down over another day, but yeah.
No, I understand, bro. Like I don't know how to feel about this game. Like I have no idea what to say about this game. Like, I should be gassed, and I am for some aspects. Like, I'm gassed.
Happy we won. Yeah,
I'm happy we won against Spurs. I'm happy Jackson got a hat trick. Obviously, Palmer, I thought, best player on the pitch outside of the Jackson hat trick. Again, for like the 5th game in a row. But like, I need some people to if people haven't been on Twitter, by the way, after that game, all you're going to see on the timeline is either people being mad shameless, which I get, or people just being pissed, which again I get. That's all you're seeing on the timeline. All I'm seeing is people being shameless towards Spurs, which again I fully understand, or people just being pissed about the game. Because take the result out of it, that's one of the worst games I've seen us play this season. Like comfortably one of the worst games I've seen us play this season. From a player perspective and a manager perspective.
It's probably up there for West Ham, I think, as well, Scott. Like,
the West Ham game was better than that. That was a pathetic performance.
It probably is.
Take the result out of it, that was pathetic. That across the board.
Scott, this is where we differ though. I don't blame Poch for that. Besides Cole Will at left back, everything.
There's a lot I blame on Poch.
You can make your case. I might agree later, but
the one good thing what Chelsea actually did was like we probably fucked Tottenham's like whole season now. Like
for real.
Like with the 2 red cards, and obviously Madsen is off injured now. Like that's fucked them. And
Van de Ven injury too.
I was gonna say Van de Ven is their probably best defender. It's probably
2
their best
players now suspended for 3 games as well. Like
only
one.
Udogie's
the one game.
Udogie's only 1 game, even though
2 yellows is 1 game.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only positive I take from this game. We fucked Tottenham season. Like it kind of feels like in a way how badly we played under 2015, where we was 10th and we caught back up from 2-2. It's kind of like that in a way. Had a lot of drama too as well. What I did like about it, but I can't lie. I was close to crying when it's still 1-1 for like 70 minutes. I was close to crying. I was thinking, how was Chelsea? Honestly, like kept going like this, like going 1-1 and missing all these chances. It's typical Chelsea. It really was typical Chelsea. We had like 20 shots or something like that. Jackson is a very lucky boy. He scored a hat-trick there. He's very lucky because he was missing too many good chances. And yes, he did get the hat-trick, but he should have had a lot more. He could have had 5 goals today easily. He really could have 5 goals. It could, and that's the thing I'm worried about Jackson this season. He misses a lot of good chances, and doesn't put them away, and then he doesn't do a whole lot after that as well. So it was one of them as well. But yeah, we was very lucky.
Jackson's the last person I'm speaking about when it comes to this game. Like, I don't care, like, because the thing that we did today, there was an actual positive eventually in that second half. Because my word, that second half was a chore to watch. That was painful to watch. The thing we did is we created loads of chances, because like that's been the issue. Is like, yeah, Jackson missed 3, but he also scored 3. So it doesn't matter. Like, he didn't even have a good game, but he scored 3, so who cares? Like, because that's all we're asking our strikers to do at this point. Like, that's with Jackson. If we've seen him have good performances where he has done all the other stuff well, just hasn't finished his chances. So now we're seeing the opposite of it. Like, it was the same with Brighton. Brighton, he was crap. He was terrible, and then he scored. And then he got better after that. And I don't care that he was crap because he scored. And it's the same today. I don't care that Jackson was shit. I don't care that he was crap. But, like, he scored 3, so like I don't really have any energy to give to him.
Can I add to that actually the one positive to that as well? Like I hope that actually does a lot of confidence for Jackson, because a hat-trick can give a player a lot of confidence. That's the only thing. But
then he missed that chance at the end though, Chris. It doesn't really smell good.
I know, strikers do miss, but he just almost cost us against 9 men.
That's the thing though, they do miss, and that's the thing. You then got to keep creating chances. In other games, he's missed like 1 chance and we ain't creating anything else for him, or he's missed 2 and we ain't creating anything else for him. This game, obviously, he had the one in the first half that he should have scored, the one where he had really nice movement to take around Romero, I think it was, and then just didn't put enough power on the shot. He had obviously a header in the second half as well. Had the one where he was offside for, had the one at the end, 3 big chances he missed, and he scored 3 because we kept creating chances. So I don't care. Like, there are other players, as I said, I need to focus more on. Like, that back line in general was horrible. Like, outside
Sanchez getting any flack?
Like, outside of Sanchez, like, he saved us at the end when Udogie made a mistake and Son was 1-on-1 and Sanchez did well. That back line, like, Cole, shit, but again, he's not a left back. Silva, like, meant to be the experienced head, nothing. Like, you couldn't tell if he was 39 or 19 in this game. Like, I'm just like,
I thought James was very good today.
I'm gonna be, his performance was shit. Like, I'm just glad we won. Like, I'm glad we won in it. That's literally it.
Before you guys keep going on, Ahmed, I want to get your thoughts on the game as well.
Oh yeah.
It's an embarrassing win. You know, we can be, I guess we won for 1. Yes, we can be happy about that. But at the end of the day, bro, it's extremely embarrassing on the team. on the players. If we're being honest, 100% of the time. Yes, we can talk about some of the stuff that Poch has done himself. We've spoken about many a time on this channel. I've spoken about many a time on this channel. But the fact that it took these man until the 75th minute, just to learn how to put a through ball through.
It took 20 minutes after they were 9 men down to get a goal. It
doesn't even matter if they're 9 men down. They shouldn't be doing that even at 10 men down. They were playing the same kamikaze football at 10 men as they were playing with 9.
There was Ahmed. Have you seen? Do you follow Goonie on Twitter? Any of you follow Goonie on Twitter?
Yes, yeah.
Bro, he put a tweet out, by the way, of the 67th minute. There's a literal still of the entire Spurs team outside of Son and Vicario. The entire Spurs team is in a line on the halfway line. We have 4 people offside. The
7-1 formation.
Bro, the only dude in that entire still that is making a smart play is Cucurella, our left back, who's making a run from deep. That's the only dude making a smart play, that entire thing. Like, we brought Mudryk on. We brought Mudryk on, and from what I remember, played one over the top through ball, and it was over here. Yeah.
Mudryk didn't do anything. That's why, I think I agree with what Oliver was saying earlier, which I would like for Sky. I'd like for you to dissect what you think Poch did wrong here. Besides, again, Levi Colwell, I need to stop seeing this kid play left back. But other than that, because of the amount of chances we've missed, because of how the players perform, because of how I saw Sterling just completely go complacent after they started getting the lead, and you know how our team is once they're complacent, once our team is relaxed, we don't have the composure in the back to keep a game or keep a lead. We almost conceded and almost drew the game again. Which, again, I'm happy we won, but I'm just not happy with the performance. But Scott, you had criticisms of Poch. I would like to hear that.
Yeah, I'll just direct you to what Scooby's put in the chat. Like, what are we doing in training?
Oh yeah.
What are we doing? Because where I put this on Poch, number one is the starting, the Colwell thing. I've got no words. If this man does it again this season, sack him on the spot instantly. Like, this game, by the way, for me with Poch is a stay of execution. If we hadn't won that game, I was Poch out. The only reason I'm not is because of the result. The only reason is because of the result. Like, that Colwell thing pissed me off, number one. Number two, did you man see the Pice tweet in the first half?
No, I was better.
Reportedly. I'll admit reportedly. So take
Enzo, with the system.
Enzo was telling Pochettino to change the system and he wasn't listening.
I did see Enzo talk to Poch with his hands now.
Enzo and James went to him, didn't they?
They did go to him.
Number two, the substitutions. Outside of Cucurella, the substitutions. Like I said, you brought Mudryk on, who his main outlet in the team is to get in behind. You're playing the highest line known to mankind, and you put one ball over the top to him. And the reason why I blame that on Poch is go and look at the other team, Ange. And I respect Ange for what he did. Yeah, you can say it was kamikaze, and it probably was. Where I respect him for it, if they were playing with 9 men, they had 5 defensive midfielders on the football pitch, and they were still going out for it. They were still playing with a high line, still creating chances, by the way. Could have easily scored to tie the game up twice. If it wasn't for the Dyer offside, we're talking an inch. If it wasn't for the fact that Bentancur headed it instead of James, that's 2-2. And then if it wasn't for the fact Bentancur missed his header at the back post, that's 2-2.
There's another one as well, Scott. You know where Son took a shot and Sanchez made that really good save?
Son. Sanchez did really well there. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. These men are with 9 men and not a single... their biggest creative presence on the football pitch was Pedro Porro, I think, in the second half after Kulusevski went on. And these men still created chances, still stuck to their philosophy. There were so many times in that second half, they're playing with 9 men, they're on the halfway line, you've got Jackson, Sterling, Mudryk, you've got Palmer. All of these men want the ball in behind, apart from Palmer, who wants to get the ball in attacking areas. And every single time Cucurella had a pass forward, backwards. Gusto the same. I don't think Gusto got forward when he came on. And I'm telling you now that was instruction.
And one moment,
now that was instruction. Udogie came on as well and instantly lost the ball, then got a yellow card.
Oh, he almost cost us, I'm pretty sure.
Literally, straight away came on and nearly cost us. His bro, like I said, this man is like. I'm glad we won. I'm like, it may not come across this way. I'm glad we won because that was epic.
Just one more.
It is the players as well. Like outside of Jackson's hat trick, Palmer, Cucurella and Caicedo. The rest of that fucking team's and Sanchez at the end. Rest of that team's embarrassing. Like from the starters to the subs, embarrassing outside the players I just mentioned. But like,
I just don't know what it is.
I said it earlier, and I'll say it again, Marshall. Sorry, just last point, just before you go. That's one of the worst performances I've seen this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a bittersweet victory. The only victory I can come close to thinking as bittersweet as is the Real Madrid game where we won and we were still knocked out of the Champions League. It was just like, oh my God, it's frustrating because like what Scott was alluding to a few seconds ago, these players, for whatever reason, at 2-1, just, oh, we're winning. We don't have to try anymore. We're winning. We don't have to be as sharp anymore. And that lapse of concentration, that lapse of intensity, we nearly lost the game. If it wasn't for Sanchez saving us, we nearly lost that game. Or drew it. I mean, it's
No.
Marshall, hang on. Marshall, is there not?
We are not.
Yeah, sorry.
We are not. Sorry, Oliver. Yeah, we are not doing Sanchez prop on this channel. This brother was letting goals in for fun. He actually, I thought he was an upgrade on Kepa. That guy is not an upgrade on Kepa at all. He is the same shit, man. You know what I'm saying? He's the same shit. You know what I mean? We just brought him for 20 million rather than.
I do kind of agree.
How can you sit here after this game?
I do not.
How can you sit here and try to actually put anything on Sanchez when literally when Udogie lost that ball and Son had a shot on goal, Sanchez did the save. And I'm not even trying to praise Sanchez like he had a man of the match performance.
I don't think he. As well.
I'm not talking about.
I'm not trying. But like you're literally. I'm literally just stating facts. I'm only just stating facts.
No. You're just isolating one event that took place. There was previous events that took place where if it was 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters offside, it would have been 2-2.
Are you gonna blame on Sanchez?
Are you talking about the Son offside?
Why are we talking about offsides when it comes to Sanchez?
No. Not the Son offside. I'm talking about the Dyer offside, for example.
Yeah, wait, are you blaming?
Ahmed, I need to talk about that, by the way, because like whoever's our set piece coach needs to be fired for that,
bro.
But that's not on Sanchez still. If he let that in, because that was actually
Conor Gallagher in the space of like 5 minutes. By the way, Conor Gallagher lost his man twice.
I'm not a huge fan of Sanchez either, Ahmed too. Like, but like, I wouldn't blame anything on him today.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, it's like, how can you actually sit here and blame shit on Sanchez when the one thing I wanted Sanchez to not do, which is I know the bar is so fucking low, but the one thing I want Sanchez to not do is give the ball away to the opponent. Okay, and he did that. He didn't give the ball away to the opponent. And then when we asked him to actually make a save,
no.
Yes, didn't I just say the bar is low? Yes, it's a low bar, but guess what? That's the position we're in right now. We're not fucking Chelsea under Mourinho, are we?
He's even failing the low bar, but he's failing the low bar because he's giving the ball away to the opponent. He's
giving the ball away today.
He only kicked it out like for a throw, and that's the only thing I saw.
I'd rather him kick it out and dispossess it than give it to than have another Declan Rice moment.
But that's what happens.
Wait. First of all, why are you making this about Sanchez? Why are you making this about Sanchez? Bro, why are you even making this about Sanchez? I'm not even trying to make this about Sanchez. I'm just trying to state that when Chelsea are winning the game, we get complacent and we need Sanchez for that one moment to save us because Chelsea got too comfortable. You were even criticizing Sterling, and I agree with you. Sterling got way too comfortable. Once we got the lead, Sterling was walking around, not even pressing. Most of the team wasn't even pressing or doing anything, except for Palmer. Even Gallagher fucking got complacent. And that's the moment we lose. If it wasn't for that offside, that moment of complacency, that moment of us not being as aggressive anymore, we would have lost.
I thought it was going to break down at that point.
Like, yeah, I was like, okay, this is fucking Chelsea. No mentality. No mentality.
We need to talk about that Dyer goal, by the way.
Before we talk about the Dyer goal, which Oliver, I'll have you take the lead on that. Gerard Connor, thank you so much for the donation. Agreed 100% with Scott. Great game for 35 minutes with player antics on both sides will ruin football for fans. Spurs were gallant and defeat. Go ahead, Oliver. You wanted to talk about the set piece, which again, oh my God.
Yeah. So that was a free kick. I believe Gusto conceded it. I believe. So first of all, poor from him. You cannot be giving free kicks away in that position.
Yeah.
Secondly, they have 8 outfield players and we have 10, and including our goalkeeper in the box, that's 11. So it's a 10v8. How is a man at the back post unmarked? Can someone explain that to me?
It's Gallagher.
11 versus
I
8
can't
in the
explain it.
box.
Gallagher for that. Just
Oliver,
being-
you can go even further than that. Outside, like if someone had turned the game on, outside of after we scored to make it 3-1, you notice the difference in players from between when we scored to make it 2-1 and when we scored to make it 3-1. Outside of the fact that you could count the players, if someone had just turned the game on, you wouldn't have been able to tell it was 11v9.
Facts.
There was no points in the game between when we scored to make it 2-1 and we scored to make it 3-1 where we isolated. We should have had 2 players free every single time. And we never did. Up until we scored the third, we never ever had that. Like, also that super chat, by the way, outside the result, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm taking more positives away from that game than as a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, probably. I listen. I don't think
Bro, I'm
Spurs
100%.
need to be embarrassed about
if you
this
look
game.
at the Spurs, right? Again,
than
take
Romero.
the salt out of it. Emerson came on, I thought, and played well. So you've got you're both right backs now playing well, and he also played decent at left back. So that's a position. You've got a guy there who could cover for Udogie. You don't have to play Ben Davies. You got Bentancur minutes came on and was good when he came on. Højbjerg came on and was good. Like all your squad players came on and played well. The only reason you lost that game is because you played with a high line, but I understood it because like you still created chances and because you were down to 9 men. The fact that their squad players came on and played well and gave them something, and they created chances at 9 men. I'm taking positives away from that game outside the result if I'm a Chelsea fan. Yeah, it sucks because you lost to Chelsea, but like that's fucking stupid. You just lost 4-1 to your rivals playing with 9 men, and you can take more positives out of the game than the other team can.
I still be pretty annoyed as a Tottenham fan. Like,
Oh, no,
seeing your
Chris,
players
I'd be
react
annoyed.
that. Yeah, because like
If I'm
the
a
red
Tottenham fan,
cards,
I'm
it's
annoyed that we
fucked
lost.
you a bit.
Yeah, I'm annoyed we lost to a rival and I'm annoyed we conceded 4. But I'm saying outside of the scoreline from the actual game, what was played on the pitch, I can take more positives out of from a Tottenham
No,
side.
I'm on about
Listen,
like I'd be annoyed at like
so-
Romero and people like that because he was too reckless.
Yes,
He
obviously.
he got away with the kick. I don't know who he kicked. I think he kicked Enzo or no, he kicked someone else. He should have got a red card before that, and then he obviously got the red card against Enzo.
Romero's an idiot.
He really should have been watching himself after the
If-
first one. He got away with murder that one.
If I'm a Spurs fan, 3 things I'm upset about. Romero, 1, Udogie, 2. Because Udogie was also absolutely reckless today.
Oh,
He
yeah.
almost,
Wow.
you know what? We'll look back at that foul and we can talk about whether or not it was a direct red or it was the yellow. But regardless, absolutely reckless. Whatever. Romero, idiot. I think what's the 4th time he got sent off or suspended while he's been at Spurs?
To be
Fucking
fair, he's been
Really?
ridiculous.
it's kind of ironic because I watched Matisse's what's it called, his preview with Fuad.
Sure.
And Fuad was saying that like Romero's actually been really good this season in that regard. He's been calmer
Yeah.
this season, but like he's due one of those, and then he did it this game.
Sure. Yeah, there
Twice.
it is.
I think he did it for the first goal as well that we scored that was offside, or he did it like in earlier in the game as well.
I
There
would
was the
say
kick
this
out.
as
There was
well.
the kick out at Silva, and then there was the one in the box.
I would say this as well. Okay. If the third thing I'd be upset about today's game, if I was a Spurs fan, is the fact that once you went down to 9 men when Udogie got sent off, I don't understand why Spurs are still trying to get a win at that
I
point.
100% get it. I 100% get that.
I think it's foolish. I think it's foolish.
I
You're
don't.
9 men, and we have pace. We have Sterling.
Marshall.
The whole
They-
game. But hold on. Let me just land real quick, Scott, and then you can respond, obviously. But like, I think the whole entire game, we were exploiting their high line with Sterling on the left primarily, and you're down to 9 men. Why continue with the high line? You just don't have the men at that point. Just save the tie. You don't need to lose at this point. Now you're just asking. The reason we won is because they were just doing the high line. If they had just sit and park the bus, which by the way, we've seen how parking the bus works against Chelsea. We probably don't score. I hate to say it, we probably don't score even with 9 men if they park the bus.
No, I still understand it because what they're banking on Chelsea not creating chances, which we failed to do in multiple
probably,
games. They're banking on the fact that Chelsea aren't going to create and we aren't going to finish, and we happen to do both of those. Also, like as I said earlier, like if it wasn't like if it wasn't not even the offside, the Bentancur one, bro, if they score that, they're 2-2 with 9 men. Like they had chances, and again the Son one as well. They had chances to get back into that game. That's what's stupid is like they played like that and had chances to get back into the game. So I understand it. Like, and as he said, he's sticking to his guns. Like, and that's the thing with Ange is like these men went down to 9 men, lost arguably, especially in Van der Ven and Udogie because of how they play, and Maddison. Actually, no, even with like Romero, Van der Ven, and Maddison, they lost like 3 of their most important players.
Sure.
Alone, and kept playing the same way. They kept playing the same way. Like, what have we been saying about Poch the whole season? Where it's like you lost one player in preseason in Nkunku and changed the whole thing. You changed the whole thing. Like, and Ange is now showing, bro. I got 2 man sent off. I was playing with a back 4 of 2 right backs, a centre back, and a DM. Højbjerg was playing centre back. These men had 5 DMs on the pitch and still played the same way. Respect. I have all respect for that. Sticking to your principles. Because again, as I said, you still created chances. I respect it massively.
Sure, you could say that. I just feel like there's a portion of Chelsea fans that would see what Tuchel was doing, sticking to his philosophy and sticking to this back 3, and there's a whole different story. You know, like I just think like I don't know. For some Chelsea fans, it's just you know, damn if you do, damn if you don't. When it comes to that, I don't know. It is just fucking. I'm just frustrated that
Tuchel did not have a philosophy at Chelsea. He literally just tactically set us up to be the best that we could be. There was no Tuchel did not have a philosophy at Chelsea. He literally just was playing the best team that he could with the players that he had. That was what literally he was doing. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
There's a comment here that I want to address. That okay. Listen, Paulo 27. You guys sound like bitter assholes. Hey, let's just get moral victories and feel better. Listen, we're all glad that we won, but like, why are we pretending that we deserve to win? That was barely. Look, it took us until the 75th minute when at the 55th minute they were 9 men down. It took us to the 75th minute to figure out how to do a breakaway for Jackson to finally score. Like it took forever. Like even Cucurella, like
I'm relieved we actually.
Do you know how embarrassing? Do you know how embarrassing today's game is, guys? It is. People, but oh, we beat on them. That nonsense. Yeah,
I'm glad we won.
Vicario, was literally just coming up, tackling our striker, tackling whoever that tackle was. Yeah,
we made Vicario look like a sweeper keeper today.
He was. He's a sweeper keeper though.
I think he's very quick.
The thing for me though, with the
look like fucking Neuer today.
The thing for me with the with the comment and with how to feel is like I think it's just where we stand as well in terms of with the way we view football. Like if people want to be shameless about us winning, like more power to you. Like be shameless. Sure. I understand it. I fully understand it. But then like you got to understand the people that are pissed. No, City's not a must win. City's a write-off. I don't care about City.
We're gonna win.
Newcastle,
we're gonna
however,
lose. We're gonna lose. I mean, yeah.
I don't care about City. City, I don't care. Like I just don't care. I've seen us lose 6-0. I've seen us lose 1-0 where we didn't even go to win. We literally set up to do nothing under Conte. I don't care. Like I don't care. The what I'm focusing on is Newcastle. What I'm focusing on is Brighton, United, Everton, Wolves. Those are the games. Champ. The thing I will say in terms of the performance is the one positive that I'll mention about the performance is go forward in terms of with the chance creation. I understand we're against 9 men, but go forward with the mentality of keep creating chances, keep trying. Go Jackson, like for example, keep going that same mentality. Even if you miss 2 or 3, keep going. Because we saw in this game, we've seen with Haaland before, we've seen with other strikers. You might miss 2 or 3, but you'll score eventually if you keep creating chances. So like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's just, as I said, it's just the way some of us view football. The way I view football, I want dominant performances, like full on. Like, there's a quote from Thomas Muller. I don't know when or where it's from, but there's a quote that came out from Thomas Muller where he basically said that when the team steps on the pitch, the other team has already lost. They already know they've lost. They already know they're not getting anything out of the game. That's how I want us to play, and how just I view us want like that's perfection for me in terms of how us to play. So if we're not there, then I'll criticize. As I said, outside the result, this was shit. And the thing is what have I got to hold on to for the next game? Take City out of it for the Newcastle game. What have I got to hold on to? Because the last time we did this kind of result where we played like shit but still smashed the other team, that was Luton. We then lost the next league game against Forest. So I've got outside of the Jackson hat-trick, I'm glad he scored, and another good Palmer performance. I've got nothing to hold on to for this game, like for the next game. Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Nah, City should be scared, man. Jackson.
No. But like, let's be real, guys.
Let's be
real, guys. Yeah, let's be real, yeah. Because like, I hate to be a party people, but like, I think it's necessary. Even when we win, we should be honest, about how we played. What have we learned going forward? Apparently, 11v11. Initially we were scared for some reason. We weren't up to shape. It then took us to a goal for us to then wake up. It then took us quite a bit of time to break down a 10-man team, then a 9-man team, which took us even longer to break down. We then were able to finally score some goals towards the end. We then gave these guys opportunities to almost make it 2-2 on multiple occasions. The thing for me, when it comes down to it, is I want consistency. The thing of Tottenham, when you watch them today, there was a consistency in the way they attacked. There was a constant rotor, constant engine. Let us be real about it. When you got guys, in our attack, fair enough to like someone like Jackson today. Yes, he got his hat-trick. Fair play to him. Obviously he scored 5 goals, which I predicted he's going to score this season. Shameless plug right there. But at the same time, he could have scored 4, 5, or 6, for example. Right?
You saw the comment before. Sanchez said it. We could have scored 3, 4 more goals.
Can I say the big difference in Chelsea's and Tottenham?
Let Ahmed finish. Let Ahmed finish.
And then like you have someone like Sterling who for every good thing that he will do, you have 10 other CTE moments. There's literally no other way to put it. For every good moment he has.
On that note, by the way, actually, this comes back to Pochettino. I need to understand what I would love to be a fly on the wall at halftime to know what Poch says to these players. Because first half, I actually thought outside the first I'd say 10 minutes maybe. I thought we were really good the first half. I thought the first half we actually played well. We were getting at them. Obviously, we had some stupid moments of offside. Jackson and Sterling didn't really know the offside rule in the first half. Never really picked up the whole game. Well, apart from the end. But outside of them being offside all the time, I thought first half we played really well. And then second half, we make the right change. Made the correct change at the correct time. They go down to 9 men 10 minutes into that second half, and we look like shit. And this has happened before. This happened after the West Ham game. This happened after there was another game recently that happened. The Blackburn game was the same. I think the Blackburn game we played better first half than we did second half. Brentford again. This keeps happening. I need to know what this guy's saying in the halftime team talks.
You know, it also is. I want to go. Jem made a comment that said we had 4 disallowed goals. I hear the point Jem's making, but at the same time, bro, did we not criticize Timo Werner when this guy was offside multiple times per game when he would go through and go? Same with Kai Havertz, right? So we need these guys. Someone like Sterling, someone like Sterling, it's inexcusable. Literally, this guy's been playing football for well over a decade. He should know how to offline, how to be onside. It's inexcusable from him.
Well, listen, back to what Scott was alluding to with the whole second half and how we performed. This is what riles me up, and this is why I agree with Oliver when he says I can't put too much of the blame on Poch. Once we scored the goal and got ahead, we just put our hands on our hips and said, okay, that's the game. We don't have to keep trying. Like the comment here that Joel says, in the second half, we had no urgency. And I think that urgency left when we scored our goal and we were like, okay, we're winning. We don't have to do any more work. I was glad that we went 3-1 ahead. I was relieved when we went 3-1 ahead because I was like, okay, cool. Now you can finally sit back a little bit and defend. Because we saw in that 2-1 moment, Son almost scored a goal. Dyer almost scored a goal. It was by margin that goal didn't count. Yeah, he did. But it was by a margin that it didn't count because of offside. So we got lucky. And I just don't understand. That's why I don't think Poch is going out there and saying okay, 2-1, relax. Just don't worry about the ball. Let them have it. Let them play. Don't worry about having urgency. Don't be as intense. It just seems so counterintuitive. I don't think Poch.
Marshall, do you know why I disagree? Oliver, just before you go, do you know why I disagree?
Yeah.
What did he do at 2-1 down? What was the sub he made?
He brought on Udogie, didn't he?
Nope, he brought on Udogie for an attacker.
So when
but I saw Poch getting annoyed at the half line.
He was getting. Unfortunately, again, Poch tweeted something saying he was getting annoyed at the offsides. He at 2-1, we were 2-1 up, and there were so many times, and this is why I say Gusto didn't get forward. Like, and we've seen Gusto get forward. We know he can. We know he wants to. So this is why I say it's a Poch thing. Like, this is why I say it's fully a Poch.
We subbed on Gusto straight after 2-1.
You know what I've noticed? We don't.
Who did he come on for? It wasn't.
He came off for Sterling at 91 minutes. He came on at 91 minutes.
Sterling. Like, he literally took off an attacker for a defensive midfielder.
At 90 minutes, though.
No, it was at 2-1. It was 2-1.
No, like, you go back to it, Scott. I'm looking at it. At 2-1, right? At 77 minutes, we did make a sub straight after the goal. We subbed on Gusto for James, right? I thought James was having a really good game, actually. I actually really impressed with Reece James. I didn't understand that substitution.
Yeah, it was at 90 minutes.
It makes sense because of the, like, if he's not
fit, okay, he's not fully, he hasn't, like,
How many times did Gusto get forward after he came on?
Like, maybe once at best.
Yeah, just once.
Really. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I put it on Poch, where, like, this is not the first time we've done this. We did the same thing against Bournemouth. The literal same thing against Bournemouth in terms of slowing the play down, in terms of taking our time with it. No urgency. It was the same thing against Bournemouth.
Oliver, before you go,
there's precedence for
this. I let Oliver go because I know Oliver had to mention something, but we have about 50 of you guys watching. If you haven't done so already, be sure to smash up the like button. It does help out the channel tremendously. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oliver, what did you want to say again about the whole Poch situation?
So I'm going to agree with Scott on that. I think this is where us two and you differ. You know, Poch is responsible for setting the tempo of this team. There's no two ways about it. If you're seeing complacency, get the player off. That's the number one. What I cannot have Poch be blamed for is the fact that Cucurella can't square a ball across the box. The fact that Sterling can't dribble. The fact that we can't. The fact that we can't beat an offside line of a 9-man Spurs team that are playing like prime 2019 Klopp Liverpool, except they don't have Van Dijk in their back line. They have Eric Dyer. How is that Poch's fault that we can't wait a pass? And this is multiple players. Enzo did it. Palmer did it. Cole did it.
Please tell me these quotes aren't real.
See, I've noticed a lot of journalists are mixing up quotes, like mashing them together now.
No. These are interview quotes, bro. These are actual.
I know, but even from the interview, they mix them together, make it sound as bad, like worse than it
Matt
is.
Law, but that's Matt Law, though. You know that whenever Matt Law,
even Fabrizio was doing it the other day.
I mean, what were you gonna say?
I wanted to say quickly, and I 50-50, you know. When it comes to Cucurella, we know he's no good in the attacking phase. So why am I expecting him to produce something going forward?
But he tried to shoot with his weak foot, though. He should have squared it. What is that decision making?
Ahmed, he is a professional footballer. He can square it.
Listen. Right. He can be a professional football player, but if you have the level, if you don't have that level of experience in that position, I can't say to you do something like that. If it was Reece James,
Vicario is a professional goalkeeper.
Reece James probably scores that. He probably just
but like. The problem, the thing for me is that, you know, you look at, for example, the Sterling point I agree with, the not being able to break the high line, the guy that did the highline thing as well. The highline thing was correct from all of the players for some reason. And again, I don't know what's going on. Is that because of the fact that they're a bit younger, they're trying to be a bit more eager? Because I can maybe give those guys here. The BOD, whether it be Mudryk, Jackson, Enzo, some of our benefit of the doubt there. But like someone like Sterling, I can't give the benefit of the doubt for, because you're meant to be the guy that's, you know, bang, shoot. And the other thing for me is, why not just hit it from deeper? You already have someone like Mudryk who's got the pace, and then at least you don't even need to play the high line thing, because he's going to be able to get there before Porro.
I think what was annoying me with the through ball passes, because we were trying that, it's just the passes were so misplaced. Like, that's why I'm not too happy with most of our attack. When Palmer was trying it, I mean, Palmer pulled off maybe 1 or 2 through ball passes, but then he overshot it. Enzo was overshooting it. We saw Sterling overshooting it. Like Vicario, again, we made Vicario look like prime Neuer.
Marshall, you can include Colwell in that as well, by the way.
Colwell as well. Like, yeah, there were just so many overshot passes when we were trying to, you know, expose that high line and you know, just beat the line. But it's just, I don't know, guys. I'm so frustrated. Like, I'm glad we won. I am glad we won. And again, I wasn't thinking we were going to win. When I did my prediction, I said 1-1. Maybe we can get a draw. The team is perfectly capable of, but we struggled against 9 men, and that was embarrassing. We struggled against 9 men. Once we finally got the goal to give us the lead, I think we finally figured them out and broke them down. And they put their heads down and they just stopped trying as much. But regardless, man, it was just embarrassing. I did want to talk about this, and let me know you guys' thoughts, because this was a little bit of a controversial tackle here that Udogie made earlier in the game. 2-footed tackle, didn't exactly hit Sterling. I think he got a yellow for it,
He did clip him.
Clipped him a little bit. I don't know.
It's almost like what Gusto did against Aston Villa, like slipped over a bit.
This is worse than what Gusto did, to be honest. If you had asked me, it's the fact that he didn't make that much clean contact.
This is why I think consistency should happen. Like, he has his studs up, and it could do some serious damage.
It was reckless.
He's got both feet off the ground as well.
Yeah, it's too reckless to me. So it's a red card.
I'll say that this actually more reminds me of the Havertz one in terms of I think the only reason he isn't sent off here is because he doesn't connect. Like,
yeah, that's
what I mean.
I'm not saying that that's right, wrong, whatever. I'm saying that's the only reason he's like that wasn't a red. It's because he doesn't connect.
He's literally not in control of his body, and that is dangerous play. That in itself is dangerous. You're not in control of your body. You can't do anything in that moment to prevent it, and you've put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I did see the tackle, and I thought it was dangerous, but I think, like Scott said, because he doesn't make enough contact, just barely clips him, doesn't get sent off. That's why, like, when I see people say that's a straight red, it's a straight red, I don't think it is. I think it's a yellow because he doesn't make enough contact. Had he made enough contact, had more of Sterling's foot been there, I think Udogie gets sent off. And we're talking about because this was pretty early in the game too. This is before the Romero penalty. Udogie gets sent off.
And you're arguably talking about Sterling having a major injury as well, potentially.
Oh yeah, potentially, yeah.
If his foot is in the wrong place there, he's lucky to have escaped that.
Big up Lorifix with the 65. I don't know what that currency is. I'm so sorry. We need to talk about that the team seems to lack both and any way of playing and the fundamentals. How can players look lost with one game a week? I mean, you're not wrong. This
goes back to what I said about the coach, and I think Scooby mentioned it earlier, or he asked a question about like what's changed between now and game week 1. There's nothing. There's outside of Palmer coming into this team, and like there's been a couple of improvements from a few players like Kukurea. He actually might be the only one. Like compared to game week 1,
Gallagher looks improved this year.
No, but like he was still decent game week 1. I'm talking like maybe Gallagher as well. Like, bro, the bar is on the floor. Like in terms of improvements, like it's a guy coming into the team who there was no expectations for. Mudryk, yeah, as well. But like, again, like the bar's on the floor.
I know.
Like,
I'm just trying to.
We're 11 games. We're 11 games into a season, and I still cannot tell you what the style of play is. We're 11 games into a season, and I still can't tell you what the style of play is.
Exactly, bro. And we don't have a play.
One other thing as well, and I saw people tweet about this, and I just saw my tweet about this earlier, and I agree. And he said a serious team puts 8 past this team. Yeah, Arsenal today put 8 past this team. Arsenal today put 8 past this Tottenham team with 9 men. Newcastle put 8 past this Tottenham team with 9 men. I'm not talking about City. Forget City. I ain't even including City. I'm talking about 2 teams that we are competing with where we want to be. They put 8 past this Tottenham team with 9 men playing that line.
Yeah,
I don't blame it always on the manager, because I was trying to mention before, you say like look at Tottenham's attack compared to Chelsea's. I look at Tottenham's attack.
Bro, can you please, sorry Chris, carry your point? Why are you doing that, Marshall? Please bring up that Vic comment, bro. Please.
I was gonna say basically like Kulusevski he's experienced in the Premier League. You got obviously Maddison, who's very experienced in the Premier League. He's like 26, 27, and you obviously got Son, who's like 30 years old as well, who's very experienced. Compared to us, we got Sterling, who's very experienced as well, of course. But then you got Cole Palmer's full season. Hang on.
No,
you got Jackson, who's not. No,
but then
saying
the young.
Hang on. Let him land.
Because like you got all these young players like Jackson, who's 22 and never played in the Premier League, who isn't really known as a goal scorer. Let's be honest. Like last season, he didn't really score a lot of goals, but he's good on the ball and everything. I've seen before. And then you got Cole Palmer, who's never had a full season yet. Like it's gonna like obviously take time with this young attack. Like I can't accept Poch like perform miracles with this attack because they do miss a lot of chances, and that is not down to Poch to me.
Well, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with that. That is, for me, respectfully, utter nonsense to a large degree. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you want to admit it or not, you can give these guys instructions. You can tell them how to play in a system. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean
not have enough chances today.
No, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to get it right. That I can understand. But if I'm not even seeing a pattern of play, a style of play, and a lot of stuff we've seen is just freestyle football, or we're waiting for a moment of brilliance to happen, then what's the point?
We was just getting behind and just going on the attack from that, basically, like through ball after through ball after through ball. And obviously, a lot of the through balls were kind of awful, like straight into the keeper. But that I don't really blame that like on Poch, like bad balls like that. Like that's just on the player.
That's my point. Like if you just take this game in isolation, like I understand not having a style of play is very, very bad long term and for games after this, but you don't need a style of play to know how to square the ball or how to time a through ball.
No, but that's the point though, Oliver. But the thing Chris is trying to make the point that they're young guys, so therefore
they are young.
But the problem is that should still not excuse you from not knowing, not know how to put a through ball. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You're 22 years old, 23 years old. You should know.
Some of them are new to the Premier League.
Can we address?
But this is why with Jackson. Jackson isn't known. Jackson isn't known for scoring.
Understand what you're saying, Chris. In La Liga, they do through balls.
Yeah.
Okay. So why didn't they? What's the difference between a La Liga through ball and a?
No, but I'm saying that it could be consistent with all their through balls because some of the through balls are really good and we just missed.
But no.
That's what I'm saying. Consistency.
You had a whole 45 minutes against 10, which later became a 9-man team high line.
Yeah.
We had more. We had
how many chances?
These guys couldn't even do. These guys couldn't do 1 for 3. They couldn't even do 1 for 3. I could have understood if he hit 3 through balls and one of them didn't turn up, but one of them did. I would have been okay, that's fine. At least a 33% hit rate. It took them 6, 7, 8, 9 times for it to get right.
Yeah,
Bro,
I know.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
I'm not even defending the players. I'm not blaming Poch for that. I'm saying it's the players' fault. That's my whole point of it.
That's just being intellectually dishonest, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the La Liga's rules,
No, but I'm saying with Jackson, for example, he's never known for scoring goals. Really, he never really scored a whole lot of goals in La Liga.
Bro,
you can go back and look.
Bro, but the thing is, who cares if it's Jackson not the one that's scoring? It doesn't matter who needs to score when we're 1-1 down. We just needed to create the right throw ball to whoever attacker it was, and we weren't even able to do that. And it doesn't matter at what league level you play that. You should know how to put the through ball in any league. A through ball is a through ball, bro.
I just don't think these attackers are there yet. Then I don't think these attackers
bro,
we have are there.
Sheffield United can do through balls, bro.
No, but I'm saying these attackers we have, they're not there yet. Like they've already shown it this season so far, like, most of the way, but they've not shown it. They're here yet.
Oh my god.
What? Like, are you saying these attackers are good enough?
Oh my god. You know what? Let's move on, man. Let's move on.
Can we? Sorry.
The quotes.
Can we address these quotes, man? Like,
I'm not seeing them. I'm checking.
Did I read it correctly? The line is too high.
So this man literally a week ago told us that we can't break down low blocks, and now this week is saying we can't play against high lines.
I'm trying to find.
The only thing this man didn't say. The only thing that this man didn't say that I was expecting him to say was that we played well. That's the only thing I haven't seen him say that we say so far.
Trying to find these quotes. I'm not finding them on any Twitter page. So
we can't play. Basically, we can't play against low blocks or high blocks. That's what he's saying.
We're just waiting on that mid block confirmation now, and then we're truly screwed.
We can't play against any.
He has said that, but he's already said multiple times that he cannot face low blocks.
He's kind of right though. We can't play against high line.
Bro, so we can't play against high line. We can't play against low block. So what's the point of him being the manager?
So we're not a football team. What?
No, he's just saying the attackers ain't good enough, basically.
Bro, come on, man. This is what I'm saying, Chris. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
this
rate
is
half these
bro.
attackers we have basically, and or they're just gonna take time to wait. Really,
don't do
I
that,
just think
bro.
like, for example, Carl
He is
Palmer.
the manager. You're meant to teach these guys and give them the.
But if you can't teach him put a net, what can, like what?
Let's
He
go
can't teach him.
backstage
So
then,
wait,
yeah?
he's
We'll
got,
go
he has to
backstage.
teach him how to put a net. Basically, you're saying.
Bro, I'm not
Or-
even.
or
I'm
watch
not
the
saying-
offside.
You don't understand what I said. You need to. How can you not break down? Break down means be able to get to beat that style of play and get into the box to have the opportunities to score.
We did have the opportunities, though,
today.
today,
Oh
in the
my
highlight.
lordy lord. He's talking. I'm talking about the quotes. You know what I'm
Fucking
saying? Chris, I don't know
minnow
what you said.
I haven't seen the quotes. I don't know how like if he actually said that.
He has said in previous quotes, which are proven back.
I know the
that,
low
you know,
blocks.
he doesn't know they can break. He says this team cannot break a low block, and he doesn't know how he's going to do it. He's now saying about the high block, which we've just seen recently, right? So if we can't do those two things, what's the point of being the manager? Because that's your job to be teaching the players. Come on, man.
So I see a tweet here from Matisse, and I think it kind of embellishes
It's
everything.
the one I
we
think
just
I saw.
discussed.
Yeah, it's the same one I read.
This is coming from one of Poch's biggest backers, and I put crazy amount of faith and patience in Jackson. But once the adrenaline evaporates, that performance wasn't it. 9-man high line with 3 of their key players out, and we still struggled with timing of runs, decision makings, and weight of pass. So many poor performances individually. A serious side hit them for 8. Big wake-up call. We have a lot of work to do. And that's the thing, like, I know I'm going to sound ridiculous saying this, but like, I think if we had won 6-1, then this is a different story. Then I'm more happy about the result of the game. Maybe if we had won 6-1, because there are clear chances that we had. The Cucurella one was a very clear chance that we should have had. And Jackson had other chances as well. It's just like, look, people are going to say Jackson had a good game. Jackson did all this and that. I think I think Jackson was shit today. I
Like,
really
he was
do.
shit, but I don't care. Like, he scored. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily care about him. It's like, and this is where I think some people don't get it. Of like I'll ask the question to the people like that think that this is good. Like, today was good, or we should be happy about today in terms of like shouldn't complain. What is there from this game to take City out of it again? As I said, that's a write-off. The Newcastle game after the international break. What's there to take from this game into that game?
Exactly.
We
What's
can miss
their
a lot of
take?
chances.
Because I don't want to talk about us scoring goals, because we said the same thing after Luton and then didn't score against Forest. We literally got shut out against Forest, so I don't want to hear anything about that. And we struggled to score against Wimbledon until Enzo and like the main guys come on. So like, I don't want to hear that. Like, what's there to take from this game? Outside the fact I'm glad that Jackson got a hat-trick.
Paulo, you don't get it, bro.
No, I'd felt, bro, if we lost, I'd be Poch out. The only reason I'm not Poch out is if we won. That's the only reason I'm not Poch out.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been
Like,
Poch out,
the
but I would have been
performance
really
was
pissed
pathetic
off too,
regardless.
obviously.
I would have been part of the attack out.
Bro, that's out of the
it's
11
not-
games out of the 11 games we've played, like in the league, that's up there for me as one of the worst performances. That's in my top 3 worst performances this season.
That's the thing, though. Like, it's not so much about the result. It's about the performance.
Exactly,
Like,
and like
that's the
and
biggest
the
part
problem
of it.
is
Like,
Marshall, we've been here before this season. I said earlier, we had the same thing against Luton. We weren't good against Luton. Same thing as Burnley. Weren't really great against Burnley, but we scored 4 and it was all fine. Then literally after Luton, we lost to Forest. After Burnley, let me go and find the results. Give me a sec.
We drew to Arsenal
guys-
after Burnley, wasn't it?
Yeah, we drew to that's the thing. We
Yeah.
drew to Arsenal, and then we all said, okay, cool. Now there's something to build on when we lost to Brentford.
I mean,
And
I'm
this
you
is
know,
so annoyed.
like-
We
And
imagine we
this
actually
is where
beat
like I
Brentford.
just
We would've
can't get
7 points
hyped
in
at the
last
moment
3.
for these results.
That'd been
Because
listen,
decent.
this team's already showed this season that even when we get the results and the performance ain't great, the next games we don't like. There's no. I think someone said it. I can't remember who said it earlier. Whether I think it was Ahmed said about consistency. But there's no consistency in this team in terms of like. And I'm not expecting like every performance to be spot on, but I'm expecting like just progression. I'm expecting something to be there. I'm expecting against 9 men that we play them off the pitch. That Spurs team were in the game until we scored the third. They were in the game.
Because I want to ask you guys something real quick, Ahmed, and you can answer this for me too. I feel this is going to sound ridiculous. And again, I know the way we're talking about this game, despite the result, I know we sound like spoiled Chelsea fans, but at the end of the day, like it's the way we played that just really, really grinds our gears. We got lucky in that game, guys. It's just, let's just be honest. We got lucky. But besides that, I almost feel that I'm happier with the result versus Arsenal, despite the stupid errors that we had, versus how we won this game. Am I crazy for saying that?
No, you're not, because the thing is like
we
as I said,
dominated
with the
against
Arsenal
Arsenal.
game. With the Arsenal game, there's stuff to build on. Where it's like, okay, there's stuff to build on here. If you can just replicate what you did in that game, just add some bits. There's something to build on. This game, what are you replicating? What are you replicating in this game? Apart from, as I said, the fact you created a lot of chances. That's the only thing. Outside that, what are you replicating? Like, what is there to replicate in this game?
But how can we even replicate creating the chances? Because, listen...
we played 9 men.
Exactly, with a suicide high line.
So, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's there to replicate, bro? What is there to replicate from this game?
Do you know where it is? Yeah, and this is what it just comes down to. When you look at the previous games, for example, yeah, something I would say, yeah, is that I feel like the final ball was starting to happen, but the problem was it wasn't consistent enough, and then we also had the problem where the strikers weren't striking, which was Jackson at the time, and then we had some issues with our wingers. The issue right now is, yeah, if you look at Poch's style of play, and Scott alluded to this, but literally, you know, our fullbacks, yeah, I think barring essentially like Reece James when we were losing, they don't go forward, you know. Our back four literally just stays behind. So it usually means that our wingers are essentially having to do 1v1, 1v2s by themselves. And then you've obviously got the midfield doing what they're doing, and then you've got the striker there who's essentially kind of like by himself. And like the thing is, as Chris would say, and I agree with him, he still needs to be able to take the chance he has and at least try to get a goal from them if there's a clear-cut chance. But we don't have an engine which consistently does that. The style of play we're playing isn't, you know, it's not fundamental. It's another word I'm trying to think of. Isn't suitable for the team and for the type of players that we have. And then we just wanted this conundrum of we're just playing was essentially what we're playing is individual brilliance FC. Like we're waiting for Cole Palmer to have a magical moment. We're waiting for Sterling to do that.
Just before we get to this comment, because it's a bunch of nonsense. But anyway, I do agree, like, with the point Jay's making in terms of like playing crap and still getting 3 points. I am happy to do that. The issue I have with this team, and depending on the results coming up, will change how I maybe feel about this game in the grand scheme of things. So it's like the reason I can't get hyped about us getting 3 points in this game with playing like shit is because it means based on history of this season, like it means nothing. If like as I said, forget City, if against Newcastle, Wolves, Everton, United, say we play like shit and still win, I'll come back to this game and completely change my opinion on it, because then I can understand, yeah, we didn't play well, we played like shit, but we've got the 3 points and it did give us confidence. Like that's one way it's going to be like a wait and see, because it was kind of the same point with Arsenal. Like we were all gassed about Arsenal, but I don't really care about the Arsenal game now because we lost against Brentford, so that means nothing. Like I don't care that we played well, because like we played well and then played a team we should have beaten and then played like shit. So like that's where I have the issue of like I need to kind of wait and see. Right now I'm just speaking about this game kind of in isolation, in a vacuum. If certain things change, as I said, like I'll completely change my mind about this game if we actually do a similar thing. Like I can accept right now where we are with how the team is and it's just a mess where like, bro, if we play even like City, if we play like shit and get a draw, bro, I'll change my mind about this game 100%. Like 100%. But we play against Newcastle and play like we did today and get beaten like 4-5-0, then this game means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So it is one of those wait and sees. Also, this comment's just fucking nonsense. Like I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start with this comment.
You know what's crazy about this comment, guys? Yeah, is that again, you're the manager, broski. So what are you doing behind the scenes then? Having a latte? Was that what you doing? Honestly, that's what he must be doing. Are we just doing rondos in training? Is that like, come on, man? Oh, I'm just tired, man. I'm actually tired.
I
bro.
feel like we've been saying that forever, though, what they're doing in training, because like we've seen this Chelsea team since we bought obviously Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. We do this a lot, offsides, creating a lot of chances, and obviously like missing a lot of them. That's what we do for like the whole last 3 years or whatever it's been. I don't know what it is. If we just cursed at this point, or we're just buying the wrong players. Like I have no idea with like how it is. Like I miss like people like Diego Costa and all that. Like we used to have like clinical strikers and yeah, like it just hasn't been like that for a good while. I don't know what's really gone wrong, and I don't even like really blame like the owners on that because it happened before the new ownership. We brought like Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, and obviously Todd wasn't there, and we still brought like attackers who missed.
Outside of like the obvious in terms of like the piss poor manager appointment, in my opinion at least, what is there to blame the owners about the game today? About what's going on?
Nothing today. They did nothing wrong, really.
Like the guys that played like shit today, Colwell, who played out of position.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
Who else played? Enzo, who has been good so far this season, just had a bad game today. Gallagher, who owners wanted to sell. Sterling, who's meant to be the experienced player in the team. Mudryk wasn't good when he came on. Like, I'm.
The owners are definitely doing a lot of good things this season.
Bring out that last comment.
I'm really
Our striker, outside of everything I've said today about how shit the result was, our striker literally scored a hat-trick. Like, literally scored a hat-trick.
And he did the suey.
I can't lie to you, man. Our striker's got more goals than the entire Man United attack.
Our striker literally scored a hat-trick.
I can't say, you know.
Yeah, okay, but like,
scored a hat trick this season.
I mean, listen, I also look,
more goals than Gabriel Jesus.
not wrong. Also, I will say this: like, what do you want the owners to do? If it wasn't Poch, then who do you appoint?
Like, this is what I'm talking about.
Because like I can hear all the criticism.
Hey, we shouldn't have signed Palmer though. So we shouldn't have spent that money on Palmer because he obviously
and Palmer's been.
I wasn't a big fan of that, but he's proven me wrong.
Sterling is our best attacker this season.
Shouldn't have bought Nkunku. Shouldn't have bought Gusto. Shouldn't have bought Caicedo. That was a mistake.
No, they made a lot of good signings this season as well. Like it's a shame what's happening in Cuckoo because
we should have got Javi Alonso, man. I'm telling you.
Here's the thing, like, Doom, here's the thing. Okay, you can criticize the owners, fine, but like, where is your alternative solution here? What would you have done? What should the owners have done? That's what I want to hear, because all I hear is from you and from well, actually, when you're on here, it's different. When you're on here, you give me alternative solution. We have an actual, conversation, but call-in shows on Wednesday. We can have the discussion then. But what I hear from a lot of people on Twitter is just criticism, and no alternative solutions. People want to pretend that they can be the next football manager, or they can be the next football owner. Like, this is Football Manager. And then when it comes to the real thing, when it comes to seeing things play out the way they want to play out, then they're wrong. Then they're quiet as hell. So what happened if we had gotten Enrique this season? Do you see what Enrique's doing at PSG? Mind you, it's a different scenario, but Enrique's not been the world-class manager that I had thought he was going to be, and he's not cooking at PSG right now. In fact, Ahmed, who's leading at Ligue 1 right now? It's not PSG.
It is
Nice.
Yeah,
they cooked friends in a test today, man. That was bad.
Are they still unbeaten?
Yeah, they're unbeaten.
Mad.
So this is what I'm saying.
And then
what's Nagelsmann doing right now? Nagelsmann doesn't even want to take a Euros. So again, what do you put in the owners?
Javi Alonso, bro. Javi Alonso was the one.
No, Nagelsmann is the temporary Germany coach for the Euros.
He's not temporary. He's like full time.
He's the permanent manager.
Wait. I swear I read that he was.
Mate.
Let's not go there either.
No joke. I'd rather give a billion to Chris.
Wait, what?
I'd rather give a billion.
Chris will just make a fucking F1 team.
FIFA points. That's what it is.
Nah. 4-4-2.
I'm not even shitting you. I'd rather give that money to Chris.
Oh,
well, I will say though,
yes, please, 1 billion.
But that's the thing though. Like, I hear all these criticisms, and again, Wednesday you can land on the minnows you want to. And we're gonna be having a call-in show on Wednesday. But like, It's just what like okay. Let's look at this in hindsight, right? Let's look at the bigger picture. Postecoglou was one of the people that were in contention for this job, and all of us here in the panel. All of us here in the panel wanted Poch because we thought Poch would be the one that had the most experience. We didn't know who Postecoglou was. And I'm pretty sure if Postecoglou had come to the club, Doom, you would have been the first to criticize the owners. Oh, the owners aren't getting a serious manager. We why go for Postecoglou when Poch is there? Poch, you know, he's done more than Postecoglou. You would have been critical. So it's like, you know, you're never going to let the ownership win on anything. I just accepted that. So it's like, remember,
again, like
Postecoglou wasn't contention for this job.
Outside of the seemingly poor managerial appointment so far, I don't understand how you can criticize the owners right now in terms of like this season.
I will say, and I'll let Oliver speak on this too. Today's game, I can see the criticism for Win Stanley. I can definitely see that.
I don't.
Just because these players, man, I don't know. Like
it's the first season.
No, but like you say that, but
when they brought a load of players and it didn't
but
really
like
work out.
you say that, right? But what players would you point out? Because like the players that what players would you point out when you talk about Win Stanley?
Koulibaly for starters.
That was had nothing to do with Win Stanley.
Everything after January of
Win
last year.
Win Stanley is January onwards.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
just in this game today, what would you, when you in terms of the Win Stanley thing, like what would you?
Okay, here's the thing. For me, what frustrates me, what frustrates me in this game is Jackson for one. Jackson was very frustrating. Our inability to stay on side or to beat a high line or figure out our team was clueless at one point. Our attack was so clueless at one point that Cucurella was like, fuck it. I'm going to run up here. Pass me the ball. I'm on side. Like that did happen at one point today.
Fair.
That our attack couldn't figure it out.
My rebuttal, how many goals did he score?
Oh, he didn't score, but
how many goals? Marshall, serious question. And this is coming from a guy who like wants his strikers to do more than just this. But what is the striker's aim? What is his goal? No pun intended.
To score goals. No, to score goals.
And
I get it.
He did what he did. He had a shit game. Okay, he scored 3 goals. He did his job.
He did,
like,
but it's just
Marshall. Like, I understand he played a shit game. He did his job. He literally did what he is paid to do, which is score goals.
Yes, I understand. He did his job, but that's like, you know, putting in a new bathroom, but the plumber just didn't put the water lines in, so you can't use anything with the fucking bathroom because the plumbing isn't actually
if it works. If it doesn't look
like
great,
there's no hot water, the pressure shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, he scored, man. Like
he scored, but it took going down to 9 men to do it. I want to see him do this when it's 11 men. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I guess the best way to put it, it leaves a lot to be desired.
The thing that I'll say about actually, I didn't see the second goal. The thing that I'll say about the 2 goals he did score is like that. I don't put that onto the 9 men. The reason he scored isn't because the 9 men. The reason he scored is because the high line. Like, that's the thing. Like, especially the last goal was nice. To be fair, like he put Vicario on his arse. That was nice. It was composed, but like he did his job. Like that's so I don't understand. Like, as I said, like the Win Stanley thing I just don't hear because like even the players who weren't good, like Mudryk, bro. Like I go back to it. You have this guy who's one of the quickest players in the Premier League. The main like benefit of him is he gets in behind. And you played one over the top ball to him that I can remember, and it was over here. Like every time you got the ball to him, it was in deep areas, and it was always isolated. There was no support against 9 men.
I guess what frustrates me with Jackson is lately, unlike in preseason, I feel like he had that killer instinct.
100%.
So far this season, I have in this game specifically as well. We're just isolating this game, right? There were 2 moments that I can recall that I'm just like, Jackson, just shoot the fucking ball. Why must you dribble and make sure you have, like, I understand having 100% chance of scoring. Open net, breakaway. You want to make sure the ball goes in. But like, you're not going to have that chance all the time. Like what he did to Vicario, awesome. He tried that. What game was it where he tried to do a dribble? I think it was it Blackburn or was it Brentford? Brentford. Yeah, it was Brentford. Where he tried to dribble past the keeper and keeper just snatched the ball. Like, why not just shoot it?
I agree, and obviously there's going to be some moments, and I'm not saying Jackson's perfect. Obviously, like as I said, like outside of the goals, he wasn't good today, but he still scored. Like I think the thing with Jackson, I think from like the preseason, I saw someone mention this, and I kind of do agree. There's a lot of games we were playing in preseason because it was preseason. Teams are playing high lines. I think that's the thing. I think it's the games against low blocks he struggles in, and I think that's where you probably need a different kind of striker. Maybe like if he was fit, Broja would probably work better in those kind of games because like he can hold the ball up a little bit better. But yeah, like against these teams where it's like high lines or there's space in behind, I think Jax can work as long as he knows what the fucking offside rule is. Yeah, like I just again like I don't understand how you can go after the owners after this game. I just don't get it. Like there are times you can criticize the owners. This comment makes me laugh.
But this is what I mean. Like you're taking the context out of this.
Doing right now? Anyone know outside of Ahmed? Because he probably does know. What's Mourinho doing right now in Syria?
Oh, it's not.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna get sacked.
He literally was relying on Lukaku.
Never mind sacked, bro. He's leaving at the end of the season. Like I'm pretty sure it's already been confirmed.
He was pretty good last season with his team. I thought.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, he was. I felt like he could have won that final as well.
He was okay. Wait, last season he was okay, but this season
he could have won that final.
Last season they were arse, bro. They were actually arse. Like Tammy Abraham fell from grace. Dybala literally was playing.
Dybala was good last season.
Dybala was only able to play half their league games last season. The best thing they did was probably get to Europa League final, essentially.
And they should have won that. That was a pen.
And that's all he did. In the league, there was meandering.
I said I thought he did alright last season.
In the league, he was meandering. Yeah. With the team that he had, he should have been in the.
I don't know if you should expect a lot from Momo though. Their team.
Why not last season?
They got
let's go back to another one of those guys. What's Enrique doing at PSG? Where are they? Are they not top of the table? Oh no.
No, he's doing quite poor.
Wait, which Nagelsmann at? Would you guys say Nagelsmann's at?
The
German coach. Oh, okay. So he was just waiting for that job, I guess. I didn't hear it was announced. You know what? I do want to slightly veer the topic in another direction because I feel like we could just go in circles and round about just the team's performance today. Let's talk about VAR. I think VAR today was a little excessive, but let's discuss it.
Didn't someone say nine times?
It was kind of insane today. I'm not gonna lie. It was like I listen. I'd rather them get it right than wrong. But today was a weird one, and even some of the decisions made today were very questionable. But I have some comments here on Postacoglu on VAR. I think it's going to become the norm. It's how the game is heading. It's unfortunately how we're going to watch football from now on. I've said it before. I don't like it. I don't like standing around. I don't like the fear of waiting for decisions. I know I'm in the wilderness. And then in my career, I was willing to accept the referee's decisions when we're complaining. I think that's what I meant to say about decisions every week. This is going to happen. Was today excessive, guys?
I won VAR scrap because it would have done a lot of damage if it wasn't for Michael Oliver. Because they had I think it's for a red card at one point where they looked at it. It's for Reece James, yeah. And even though Reece James is not even clear looking at the player, they wasn't sure. VAR wasn't sure, so they had to go to Michael Oliver. And Michael Oliver had one quick look. He said no because he knew Reece James was looking straight for the ball. I don't know how they thought that was a red card, well, a possible red card anyway. And other decisions that VAR did too as well.
The uses of it in terms of how many times they used it, I don't mind. What annoyed me, especially with some of the decisions, is like kind of like as Chris mentioned, that just the time they're taking, man. Like the one with the offside for the Dyer one, like he's offside by a mile. The only, not even that. No, not that. The only thing you need to check in that situation is did it come off Bentancur's head or did it come off of Reece James's head? As soon as you find out the answer, you know itself if it's offside or not. Because he wasn't offside from the first ball when the free kick came in. The only time he was offside is because of the flick on. So all you need to do is literally get a still of whose head it comes off. That's all you need. That's literally a 30-second job, if that. And then there you go. So like, the usage in terms of how many times they used it might have been a bit excessive, but I also kind of understood it. It's just how long they take over decisions. As Chris said, that Reece James thing, that's literally a quick look. That's a quick look, nothing in that, keep going. Like, it's just fucking
It makes me scared. It makes me
Like,
scared. Like
didn't
how
they have
long they
three-
take.
Didn't they have 3 separate VAR like checks in that Romero nonsense?
Yeah,
Wasn't there
that's the other
3
thing
separate
too.
checks?
They were
did.
checking
It was the
VAR.
offside.
They checked the handball. They checked the
Yeah.
handball. They checked the offside, and then they checked the red card. Like, fucking
No.
hell.
It was they checked the offside, then they checked the first Romero tackle, which was on I think it was on
Enzo, right?
and no, the one before.
Well,
Enzo.
no, because they got called off for. Didn't get called off for handball.
Kick out to Silva, right?
Oh no, that was the first goal. The Sterling goal was the handball.
Yeah.
That could
I'm
have
talking about the
been
second
20
one.
minutes. added.
Yeah.
No, I got confused. Yeah, I got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, bro.
That honestly could be more than 12 minutes for sure because that there was too many stoppages in that first half. That could
Bro,
have been
it's
more than
just
12.
embarrassing,
That came off
man.
lightly. They took way
I
too
think
long.
I think there was also one call that from my angle, it didn't look offside. Where I think it was Sterling that crossed it, ground ball crossed it over to Jackson, and Jackson scored, but it was deemed offside.
Oh no, that
Am I
was
remembering?
offside.
You think
That-
so?
that was
I don't know.
All of the
Yeah.
offsides were offside, but it just took the piss. Some of them, like, just
How many offsides did we have today? It was
oh,
insane.
loads, bro.
Yeah,
That's what
because
I'm
they
saying,
played that
like,
super high
Jackson
line
and
and we just
Sterling
kept
did
going
not know
on.
the offside rule. The entire game they were stood offside. Like I said, there was that still of the 4-man just stood offside, like in the second half in like the 67th minute, just like.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can look in front of him and say, like, can all the defenders in front of him and then say, yeah, I'm behind him. I best, like, go
was
behind him or on the
embarrassing.
same level. But no, they didn't do that.
This is real. 20 offsides. There's no way.
Jesus.
It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't
It wouldn't
surprise me.
surprise me.
It's there was a lot of offsides today. What were we gonna say?
Also,
Ahmed?
Sean's got it right. All the decisions came out to the right outcome, but my word, it took about an age to get there. Like all of the decisions were right as far as I can remember, apart from maybe like the Udogie first one, but it kind of leveled it out in the end. But like,
These ones
fuck
just be
hell,
dumb.
man, just
I don't know who's the guys they have. Yeah, they're meant to be like the older guys, the guys that used to be have experience on the pitch. So they should be after one or two watches. No, okay, that's onside. So that's a red card. That's not a red card. Or that's a pen. That's not a pen. In regards to like the offside one, they need the semi-automated stuff that they have now in the Champions League stuff needs to come to the Premier League. Because that way, at the very least, we won't need to worry about these line draw nonsenses at the end of the day. So it is what it is, man. But like one thing that I will say, and I just want to in general talk about what's the team is that we've gone more game until the international break, which I think is Man City, right? Because we play Newcastle off the international break. Listen, man, that's gonna be the real arse whipping. You know what I mean? That's gonna be the back to reality moment. So then we'll have the conversation then.
Let's talk about the midfield a little bit. I did just see a stat here. Well, I'll mention Cole Palmer's stat here real quickly before we get to.
I don't know how many chances he created, but he definitely created a couple good chances.
I think Palmer was good today.
Yeah.
I was frustrated with how much he got dispossessed, but I don't expect him to have a perfect performance every time. But here we got Cole Palmer has registered more big chances in the league this season than Odegaard, Szoboszlai, Saka, Paqueta, Alexander-Arnold, Kulusevski, Havertz, Foden, McAllister, Matoma, and more. Yeah, he's up there. I think we're reading the stat
He's behind De Bruyne.
2 days ago.
Not De Bruyne. Who's he behind this season?
I think he's actually leading. I think he's leading the big chances in the league. I'm not entirely sure. I think we read a stat on Saturday with Oliver on the Casually Chelsea show where he was leading a bunch of stats, and I think this might have been one of them. So Palmer's been a fantastic signing. I can't complain too much about him today. Obviously, my complaint about him is really mostly the attack as a whole. But when we move, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's been our player of the season so far, and it's not even close.
I would even say signing of the season.
No, he's not signing the season. But he's player of the season. Are you talking our signing the season or in general?
Our signing of the season.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's our signing the season, 100%. not in general. Yeah, he's been our player.
He's got to be up there, surely, because
every single game he's played in, he's been the best or second best player. Actually, no, he's been the best player in every game he's played in.
Yeah, I would say so. The other stat that I wanted to show, which is Caicedo. I think Caicedo was our best midfielder today.
Yeah, he was good.
Definitely showed it.
Bro. Again, it wasn't even close.
Moises Caicedo registered more successful. Moises Caicedo, he did deserve that goal. You're right.
Yeah.
Moises Caicedo registered more successful attacking third passes, 19 out of 21, more passes into the final third, 8, and more successful long balls, 5, than any other Chelsea player against Tottenham. Easily the best midfielder. Whether he's man of the match, that's up to you guys to decide in the chat. But are you guys starting to get concerned with Enzo? Is what I wanted to ask you guys.
I just thought he had a bad performance.
I think today he just had a bad day in the office, but I'm not that concerned with him.
Oh, I think he's been a bit overplayed. Give him time to actually relax.
He has played a lot of minutes this season, that's for sure. He did have that one
He's
break.
been playing every game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, except for the Carabao Cup game. No, the Arsenal. Yeah. Was it the Arsenal game? Where he had personal reasons.
He played Arsenal game. He played the Arsenal game.
Brentford is a personal.
Yeah, it was Brentford.
Is after Arsenal, yeah, because he had personal reasons.
You just had a kid. No?
Yeah, that was the personal reasons. Yeah, like, but yeah, he has played a lot of minutes, and sometimes players, they can't play every minute. It's just going to drain on them or make them worse. If they keep playing every minute. But no, I haven't got any concerns for Enzo because most games he's played this season has actually been quite good, like an average like 7 or higher performance, like out of 10. If you go rated by like numbers or whatever like that. So yeah, like he's been good most of the season. It's just this game really is kind of poor for him.
Yeah, Chris, I'd agree, except for the games that he was played at number 10, but that's not his fault,
Yeah, but even as a 10, I know it wasn't that great, but like it still wasn't awful. I don't think. It's just he can really.
No, I think he's a poor 10, but that's Poch's fault, like we've said over and over again.
No, that is on Poch, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I got no serious complaints to him. Caicedo, since obviously the start of the season as well, like the West Ham game when he came on, he
was very shaky when he started.
He looked very stiff and he didn't really have much match sharpness or whatever. But ever since that, like he's been unreal. I think Caicedo. A lot of people, like haters, I guess, have been very quiet on Caicedo for a good reason because he's been given like solid 8s and 9s every game since really.
Today,
yeah, in particular, a certain fan base whose club couldn't beat Luton this weekend, but hey ho.
Yeah. I'm so glad we bought Caicedo. It's the one midfield I wanted to buy. Well, the one player I really wanted to buy this season was Caicedo. I don't care how much he was. I wish we got him for 100 million. What was kind of like originally the price, but it got raised because of Liverpool.
I mean, how long we waited. To be honest, with how consistent the performances have been from him. Has anyone really been paying attention to that price tag?
No, that's the thing. You don't really care about price tags when a player's performing. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter about price tag when he's performing really well. That's all I care. And he is like a big problem solver when he came in. That's what I wanted. Is when we lost Jorginho and Kovacic, our two like main veterans, we need to replace it with a good young talented player. I think he's like 22 or 23. So he's got many years ahead of him as well, what's good as well. On a long contract, I assume, because we have those prison contracts for every player.
Fucking minerals, bub. Let's have it right.
So I'm all good with our midfield. Our midfield is actually the best thing about our like signings the last couple of seasons we've done.
I will say too, what is impressive is despite how, because he's been getting like really aggressive in the midfield battle, he really gets stuck in and still hasn't gotten an injury. So knock on wood, I hope he doesn't get an injury. But he's been really good. I would say today for me, my man of the match. That's just me.
He is man of the match for us, I think.
I
can put anyone else. Definitely not Jackson, even if he scored a hat-trick.
Are we talking about Caicedo here?
Yeah, Caicedo's man of the match for me.
Oh yeah, I agree. And the thing is, like we were talking about him off the ball. It's not even just that. On the ball today, I thought he was our most consistent player. He wasn't attempting the through balls as much as other players, but when he did, he was getting it right. I believe the one that Scott mentioned where Mudryk got one, that came from Caicedo. It's things like that. He's very good on the ball, and that's what a lot of people are going to ignore because of how good he is at breaking up play. But he is quality on the ball.
Lurafix, thank you so much for the super chat, man. 65. Does anyone know that currency? How do you say this currency? I don't know.
I have no
I just want to
idea
say
what it is.
Sekiro, like the video game. But thank you so much for the 65. The players look worse because they see us getting beat tactically week in and week out. I think they are losing their faith in him as well. Basic psychology. I mean, do you guys feel like Poch is starting to slowly? Well, before this game,
It could be, but because like and Enzo did like and apparently these games. I just saw Enzo like going to Poch change something because it clearly wasn't working out, and they can definitely feel it on the pitch. They need to change something. I don't know if Poch did actually time to change something. I don't know, but yeah, there was something like some of the players are concerned about the tactics maybe as well. I don't know behind the scenes like that, but yeah, maybe the players are concerned a little bit, and it's just getting to their heads. I don't know.
I disagree simply because this season I feel like we've seen players individually improve, but the tactics itself, the strategy in game as a team has been a little bit ineffective and inconsistent. That's why I don't think he's like lost or is losing the dressing room. I think especially today, and I hope at least as a result of this game today, we actually see a little bit of Chelsea get some confidence. Because look, I'm not expecting a win against Man City. I find it hard to believe anyone is expecting one. If you are, you're brave. Sure, we could. Just like how Arsenal beat Man City, but we all saw the performance. It wasn't a very convincing.
Has Tottenham not faced Man City this year then? Yeah, I definitely have they?
No, I don't think so.
But my point being is that against Man City, maybe we can get a result. And if we do, then that's a huge confidence boost for the team. I'll take a draw even, but I don't see us winning. But if I see the performances improve, then that's what I want.
The thing is, Marshall, Man City is so good that you'll take winning there with a performance like today and winning at Man City. You're partying all night, like, because that's how good they are. You know, this Spurs were there for the taking, and we were embarrassing.
Yeah,
Manchester City have just earned that level of respect within all football fans in England and around the world because they're just that quality.
I mean, we saw what just happened against Bournemouth, what they did against Bournemouth this weekend, the 6-1. So, again, this is like... What was that? I heard something. It just took me totally off tangent.
Just talking to himself.
I'm just trolling. Whatever, man. Let's move on, lads.
Yeah.
By the way, imagine... Just want to say quickly, imagine Haaland against this high line. He would have won the Golden Boot today. Today alone, not even the other 10 games.
I got you in a second, Jim.
It's City in general with pets like tactics and the very experienced players they have. They're scoring like 10 to like 13 goals easily, I think, in this game. Like going 10 men in the 30-something minute and then at the 50-something minute down to 9 men, they're having fun. They're really having fun. It'd be like a real training day of like just bagging goals for fun. And I think the thing is, their manager is Angie. How you say his name?
Angie, yeah, or Ange.
Yeah, like he said. I thought it's just for Chelsea. I thought he just thought, fuck it, it's only Chelsea. Like we'll just play high line. He said he would do that no matter what. Basically, like that's who we are. I did see quotes of a journalist say that like we would do this no matter what. Basically, like we'll play the high line and still give it a go to try to score goals. Like he doesn't give a fuck. I don't know if that's good tactics or just like him being just, I don't know, brave as fuck and just trying to actually win the game even with like 9 men. He said he would do it with 5% off. I think he would have still done it. I'm pretty sure of that as well. I'm not too sure about one. I did see that written down on Twitter as well. But yeah, they would have got cooked against City. Any team, even Liverpool. Salah would have had a field day as well. Like Salah would have scored a bunch of goals. Diaz and all that, and Nunez. It's just Chelsea, man. Chelsea, we know how to fuck up a lot of chances.
Big up Jem, who is joining us right now. What's going on, Jem? How you doing, my friend? Been a while.
It's been well too long, isn't it, man? It feels good to be back on here, mate. How's everyone? You alright?
Stressed off
mixed feelings. Stressed after the game, but happy with the result, you know?
Yeah.
Happy with 3 points.
Yeah, happy with 3 points.
I think a lot of our stresses are things that we stress about a lot already, and I feel like a lot of the points in why we do get so annoyed are things that we should already know with this team and what we've seen in the last couple of games or the last couple of seasons. We're just not clinical enough. We don't know how to kill games, and that's just been an issue for a while. And it just becomes very frustrating when you win 4-1 against Spurs, but in theory, deep down we didn't play well because we should have killed the game off a lot sooner. And certain decision making of players was not there, and etc. and it continues to be an issue. I do think if Nkunku was up front today, and I say this is probably luck for Spurs when it comes to Jackson playing up front, is that when you look at the chances he did miss along with the goals he scored, I think Nkunku would have probably scored 5 goals today. I'm not even joking on the pitch, but I just think with someone like him up front and the killer, the header from point blank where he should have scored Jackson, I think Nkunku would have scored that. I think the one where it was cut back to when he decided to do a Johnny Wilkerson kick, of his left foot, I think Nkunku would have at least got that on target. So, there's parts of it, but the most important thing for me was winning the game. We won the game, and we're not in, we're not in any real great form. This is on the back of a loss at home, right? And
sure,
it didn't really shock me that we were played better-ish in a game away against Spurs than we did at home against a team like Brentford, because they played to our strengths in many ways. They played a high line, which looked like rugby tactics, in the way that they're all lined up as high as they could on the line from a 7, and it was playing into our strengths for Sterling and Jackson, but then it also at the same time goes to show how shit we was when we got in front of goal, because even though we did find ourselves in behind, there was numerous amounts of chances where, again, we should have killed the game off a bit sooner. And I thought the first 20 minutes, I thought Spurs had us, and I thought we just kept losing the second balls. We didn't really work them out. We were struggling to really understand how to deal with it, and we were lucky really that Son's goal was second. His first goal, which was offside, wasn't given, because it would have made it a lot harder. But then something triggered, and it might have been after the Udogie two-footed tackle, but we started to press a lot higher, but we was picking up our mans better. And I noticed that Udogie and was it Porro, the other side, Pedro Porro, they were playing more inverted rather than holding the width. They were playing more in the middle, and what we did was we've got Palmer and we got Sterling, and we brought them, rather than making them hold out wide, we sort of asked them to sort of drag in and fill in the middle, and obviously it gave us more numbers. And then from that, you had Gallagher and then Caicedo and Enzo all pressing further up the pitch, and we started seeing a lot of success when they had 11 players on the pitch, and it started to work tactically. And this was when they had 11 men on the pitch, right? This is where we started winning the balls highs, and then we started creating, and then we had the disallowed goals. And Sterling, to be fair to him, you can't really knock him for the first one, because a ball hitting him in the arm when he's running at full speed, what can you do? It's one of them ones, isn't it? It's just a typical Chelsea. And the Caicedo one reminded me of Essien, the way he hit that on his left foot, into the bottom corner. I think that was a bit harsh, to be honest, even though the lines say Jackson was offside, but I still think I disagree with it. But then if they would have given that, they probably wouldn't have looked at the Romero situation, and they probably wouldn't have gone down to 10 men. So it's like, it's one of them. But the first half, I thought we played, after 20 minutes, I thought we played really well. I thought we pressed well. I thought we won the ball well. I thought we were doing everything right, other than say scoring. We were scoring, but unfortunately for the wrong reasons, with the refs giving them off. But then the second half, it's like we came out and it was like, right, we know what we need to do. We know we're going to have more of the ball, and we knew that they were playing a high line, and some of our decision making on when to release the ball, when the players were making runs, was poor, but also the decision makings of Jackson, who I criticise hugely, because I don't think his movement's actually very good, and it might be because he's still very young, but I don't see the natural striker movements, when to know when to run, when to drag players wide, when to, it doesn't really help when he's, up there. I don't really see that. It's that movement that I want to see. Sterling, I thought, as much as he gets criticised, I know you guys were criticising him, equally, I think he's very important for us at this moment in time, being on the pitch, and them runs that he kept consistently making in behind.
Yes.
Even though it really annoyed me when he gave the ball away and we had the 3-on-2, and he decided to go right instead of going left. But
is that when he won the red card? As I'm thinking.
Yeah. So
at least something good came out of that, though.
It did.
I
I actually
do agree with Sterling, by the way. He was making like a lot of good runs today. It's just like he's a bit frustrated.
He was leading most of the attacks.
Look, Sterling will do Sterling things and it will annoy
Yeah.
us. I think that's just is what it is.
Yeah.
But also what I would say is we're seeing a much better Sterling than we have the last season. Do you know what I mean? A Sterling looks a lot more involved, a lot more hungry, a lot more direct, and a lot more useful. And you know, he evidently kept making them runs and it eventually opened up. And yeah, Jackson got his 3 goals and whatever, but you know, you got to look at Tottenham's tactics, and it was shocking. I've never seen anything like it, to be quite honest with you, with the with the high line press and that. Yeah, but, you know, how do I feel about it? I get why Chelsea fans are moaning about it still, and if they don't, but at the end of the day, I'm taking that W, because beating Spurs, who have been unbeaten, you know, with 9 men, and like we should have done, you know, win the game. But all right, it was a bit later on.
Lost at home in 3 years.
Exactly. It was a bit later on, and you know, the only issue with it was the second half performance. We should have been a lot, you know, even when we scored. Like I think Marshall said, we just kind of slowed down again. It was like, oh, we scored, we don't need to do anything. That annoyed me a little bit, because it was like, keep going, don't you know, and that invited pressure, because then we started giving free kicks away in silly areas, and then they were getting up the pitch, and you know, and then I was thinking to myself, you know, Dyer scored that goal, which we were lucky, to be fair, because if that was onside, we would have been in trouble. So you know, we just need to learn how to kill games off, but be consistent with our pressing and our killer instincts, and just keep going. Don't stop and just think, oh well, you just play sideways, backwards, and then we'll go deep and then invite them on. And then no, just keep the press, keep pushing, keep moving the ball quickly, and keep creating. And that's the only real thing that really annoyed me in the second half with what we did against Spurs. But I'll take the 3 points all day, mate, especially against them. And yeah, I thought, you know, special mentions to Caicedo. I don't think many people have spoken about him, but I actually thought he had quite a good game for us. You know, I thought he got stuck in. I thought he got stuck in. He moved the ball well. He spread the ball well. You know, I'm a big fan of Enzo. People know that, and I don't think he had the greatest game today. Don't get me wrong, but I still would have kept him on the pitch over Gallagher, especially when we decided to bring Mudryk, etc. on, because. The reason I say that is because if you notice, when we started playing the pivot with Gallagher and Caicedo, once Enzo was off the pitch, it was them heavily relying on, if it wasn't Cole Palmer, on him or Caicedo to make them passes. And I just think when you've got Enzo on the pitch picking balls up, it gives you that creative spark. And we know he can pick Mudryk out. We know he can pick Stone. He would have consistently kept playing them balls over the top for us. And I think we would have created a lot more if we just left him on the pitch, personally. But yeah, it's what it is.
You know, big up Jem. I appreciate you coming on, obviously, and you said a lot of things that I agree with. And just 2 things that I wanted to point out that I think this is kind of what gets me frustrated. The first thing that you said, which is towards the tail end there, is that even when Chelsea are winning a game 2-1, I don't feel confident that this team is going to keep their composure and maintain that lead. And it's because I feel like this team, once they're in the lead, they just get this sense of complacency. I don't know what it is. Like we had it last year as well. And even the year before that with Tuchel. I feel like this team, whenever we get the lead, we just put our hands on our hips and say, okay, well, let's ride this out. Instead of,
but Marshall,
you know,
we
Oliver.
Yeah, sorry.
Before you go, like it's not even that I'm asking for us to score more goals. I'm asking for us to continue the intensity, continue defending, continue maintaining the ball. Stop, stop being lazy with the passes. Stop being lazy with the press. Stop being lazy with just the possession. It's just we get the lead, and all of a sudden we let the other team play, and then we get lucky today that Dyer was offside. We got lucky today, or not necessarily. Well, I guess it is lucky that Sanchez makes a save against Son when Udogie loses the ball, and we don't lose that lead. You know, Oliver, what were we going to say?
I was just going to repeat something that we mentioned earlier, though. You know, as much as you can say that about the players, at the end of the day, Pochettino invites the pressure onto the team ourselves, because he decides at a certain point in the game that we need to substitute on a defensive midfielder for an attacker. And all that's going to do is invite pressure. And also, just in general, the way we've moved the ball in certain games, how slow it is, that is his responsibility. If he sees someone that's keeping it too slow for his liking, they need to come off that pitch. And he hasn't been that ruthless with his substitutions yet. So Poch has to hold some of that responsibility too.
You're totally not wrong on that. And the other thing that Jim pointed out that I wanted to also state was Jackson. There are moments in this game where Jackson almost, like, there are times where when you see Jackson play, you almost think he's a winger, not a striker. Right? Because he almost, like, there's many times where you're like, shoot, and he dribbles. And like today, for example, when Cucurella was one-on-one with the keeper, obviously Cucurella's shot probably should have passed it to Sterling. Sterling had the better opportunity to score. Cucurella is not that attack-minded player. I'm not going to make excuses. You are a professional. You should be better in those situations. I get that. And you know that's one of your weak points, Cucurella. You have to have improved on that. Sure, whatever. But then the rebound comes and Jackson gets the ball. And I'm like, Jackson, the volley's right there for you. Left foot, shoot it in. The keeper's not at the net. There's a chance it goes. What does he do? He touches it, tries to dribble, and then loses the ball. It's like, why? Like, that's what frustrates me about Jackson. It's like, we need you to be our striker, man. We don't need you to be a winger that's playing a number 9 position.
It was a punt, though, wasn't it? You know, it was a real big punt in relying. And this, again, you got to look at the recruitment at this point.
Sure.
We lost Nkunku in the pre-season and they didn't react. And it was kind of as if to say, well, all right, the striker option is limitless, but we have a striker. And obviously, Burrow was on his way back in. Let's give this guy a go. And over pre-season, he looked very good. And there's a big reason why he looked very good. The reason he looked very good for me was Christopher Nkunku. Because if you watch what we were doing in pre-season, and a lot of what we were doing in pre-season, Nkunku's got this way of playing as like a very good second striker, which means that he plays very close to Jackson, and by doing that, it alleviates the space and the pressure and the having to be the main man up front, holding the balls, linking whatever, and and it kind of improved Jackson's all-round game because then he had this guy running behind him constantly, arriving in the box with him, etc., etc.
There's another threat that wasn't just him,
Exactly. Why we're not seeing the best of Nicholas Jackson at the moment is because we're playing with natural wingers that don't actually attack the box enough with him. So what we're then asking Jackson to do is to fully occupy that large space on his own, rather than having someone secondary arriving with him to say maybe take the pressure off him, but more just to what's the word? Like take the eye off him, if that makes sense, so that he can arrive in the box, etc. The reason I say that is because I don't think his movement's actually that good. I genuinely think his understanding of when to run, when to hold the ball, and then spin around and make run. I've seen him play so deep in games to the point where when we get it out to the wing and we cross the ball in, he's nowhere near the box. And I'm like, you're a striker, man. Like, your instinct should be receive the ball deep, play it, sprint, get into a good position in the box, drag a defender, whatever. He doesn't have that know-how, and I don't know whether having someone like Nkunku arriving back in January, playing close to him and arriving in them boxes into the spaces that he should be arriving in helps him, because then he can occupy the other spaces across the box or outside the box where he likes to be. But I think playing him as a main target man and asking him to do all of what a striker is required to do, and it's heavily on your movement, is a bit of an issue at the moment for us, because I don't think he has that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we want Jackson to be this complete striker that can be relied on as a target man, but it's proving more and more as the games go on that he's not there yet. And listen, I want Jackson to succeed. I really do. And I'm happy he got the hat trick, because I'm hoping that at least with the hat trick that he got today, the next game we see an improvement. We see a vigor in Jackson that wasn't there, or that was there in the preseason, but now it's back. I think he needed a hat trick, whether it was 9 men, Spurs or not. It's a big occasion. It's a big game. It's a derby, and he got his hat trick today, and I hope that a sign of things to come. I hope that against Man City, even though I don't think we're gonna win, maybe he scores a goal, or maybe he has a brilliant performance. Because that's the other thing too. Like,
does he? That's the problem.
I was just gonna say,
in the low block
earlier in the season, I felt like we had a more consistent Jackson. Like, we had Jackson's creating chances and had brilliant performances. Now I feel more so that Jackson's been more invisible in these later games. What were you gonna say, Jem?
No, I agree. I just think, like a game like today works in him and Sterling's pockets, because
Sure.
The main attributes are his speed, getting in behind, running in behind. I think he has good, good abilities on the ball as well. Don't get me wrong. I think he holds the ball up. So he holds the ball. He's quite good at bringing the ball up with in his feet and like trying to create space and etc. Maybe his decision making is not always great, but he can do that. It's just I just feel like when we play against low block teams, he just becomes non-existent, and that's a problem because I don't think he fully knows how to create space for himself where it's very tight or where he's surrounded by defenders, or how to occupy defenders so that he can create space for others. Does that make sense? For example, like he does things that really annoy me. Like he'll run to the ball if Sterling's got the ball and he's driving with the ball and trying to like take on one or two players to create space for himself, rather than try and occupy the defender's mind and try and drag him away from Sterling, he'll run towards him. And then he'll be knowing in the position that he should be. So when Sterling crosses the ball in, he can be in a position to tap it in. And that's the difference with someone like Nkunku. He will do that. He will find space in the box and he'll always take a punt. And I was at the game, what game was it? Where he absolutely frustrated me with Thiago Silva hit it across the goal and the space was in the middle of the box and he was just sitting at the back post and he didn't even predict to run in
that was as well, but I remember seeing that as well. It just
West Ham game?
Was it
West Ham?
Who was it we played at home when he done? I can't remember. Was it Brentford? I think it was the Brentford game, wasn't it?
I felt like it's quite recent, yeah.
Was it Brentford? No, it wasn't Brentford. It was a game before that. Who did we play for?
Brentford too.
Arsenal.
It wasn't Arsenal.
It
must have been Brentford. It must have been Brentford, I think. And the difference with killer strikers and strikers that do well in front of goal, and the reason they do well is because they always predict and assume that the ball's going to land in that position, and they kind of just gamble. And at the end of it, they've got that finishing product. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that.
And it's Blackburn.
Yeah.
Was it Blackburn?
Was it Blackburn? Yeah.
That's kind of a recent game too, so yeah.
I can't remember what game it was where he was up front and he was stressing me out so much with his movement and his lack of running in behind, and it was just a problem. But yeah, it's he look, he is still young and yes, he can improve his game. But I just think relying on him to be our main striker on where we're trying to achieve, which is obviously just trying to get into Europe this season, is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen for me.
This is where I thought this season where I would criticize the owners. Like, even though Disasi has played really well this season, I don't think we need another centre back, and I don't really think we even need a Madueke to spend 30 million on him as well. Like, I think we could have got another striker.
He's not even playing now. Yeah.
I know, but I don't think he's rated by the manager like that, and I don't think I've ever really rated Madueke one because he's always injured at PSV and I think Tottenham as well, but I just didn't want him. I didn't think we need to buy him. I thought we could do with another striker because obviously Brozier coming back from that big injury. We don't know what's going to happen.
I think this is more of one of those this is different way of saying the same thing. I don't think it's so much that Poch doesn't rate him. I just don't think that he's been a better choice in that starting lineup over a Palmer or Raheem Sterling.
Mudryk as well is ahead of him.
Like in the few minutes that we've seen of Madueke, I've not seen much to really inspire me to say okay, he has to start. Wimbledon was his best game, and that was we didn't even watch it, and he scored a penalty on that one. He was that was his best game. Outside of that, think of a standout game where he came on and it was damn, he has to play more. Even against Arsenal when he had a few minutes, it was lackluster.
How much is Disasi? 45 million, right?
Yeah.
And Madueke was 30 million. We could have saved that for another striker. I thought.
I'll be quite honest with you.
I just don't think we need him.
I don't think he's a bad player. Yeah, I don't think
he's needed. I'd rather another striker, but because I didn't, because with Jackson, I knew he didn't score a lot previously season. You can see that in the stats, and I can see he just didn't score a lot of goals. I heard he's good at link up and his ability on the ball, but that's about it. I heard what's good about Jackson, so I thought we need an actual striker as well who can put the ball in the net, back in the net, or compete with Jackson anyway. We don't have anyone to compete with Jackson. We literally had, I think it's against Brentford, we put on Washington because we have no other backup striker as well. Washington has... Pardon?
I think the issue is the options that are available in the market in terms of striker options, isn't it? People saying Tony and others are saying...
Yeah, Tony got banned, so it's kind of hard to bring him in. It wouldn't make a difference because he's still banned. bans.
Much as
Yeah.
important, Kunku's important for us in January. I still think we need to bring in a striker in the January. If we go through January,
Yeah, when you look at Ivan Toney or even Martinez, Lautaro Martinez for Inter, that would be a good buy, I think, as well. Or,
Nah,
no, he is a good striker.
nah, get lost.
Yeah,
Right.
not for me. I mean,
or Usherman.
I mean, the problem with Lautaro Martinez is he goes completely against what we're trying to do. Like, he's not a target man. He's not someone that can.
No,
He's Nicholas Jackson, but a bit more clinical. Like,
yeah,
but only a bit more. Like, not. Bro, I saw this guy. I saw this guy at the World Cup, man. That's the guy we're getting. We're not getting this guy you see at Inter.
I agree. I'm not his biggest fan from what I've seen of him, and I just think his overall game's not enough.
He is my third choice, by the way. Like, he's behind Tony and Osimhen for me, but I wouldn't mind having him. But depending on how much.
By the way,
that's the thing.
By the way, just quickly, have any of you guys seen the Ornstein quotes that came out a few minutes ago?
No.
About Ivan Toney.
No, just about like attackers in general. Apparently, we're looking for an elite forward in January.
I think we should rely on Nkunku. To be honest,
I agree. There it is. There will be active in January. They are looking for an attacker. Chelsea are looking for the elite forward. That's coming from. But the thing is that, like, I get what you're saying, Chris. And as much as I agree that we want a striker, maybe we could have saved money for that striker. Would you have been happy paying 150 million euros for Osimhen?
What
or
like
however Osimhen
last season? I never really cared too much for the price of if the players like helps the team anyway, like improves the team massively, even Enzo or Caicedo, they're like 115 million, 100 million. I don't care how much it costs, as long as they actually improve the team. And I think Osimhen could be a big improvement on the team. I'd actually much prefer Tony at the minute still, because Tony's coming back from his ban now, and Tony's more clinical and he might be more cheaper. Tony.
But that's the other thing too. Like, here's the thing. I agree. I want Tony. Tony's my number one choice. I just don't know if he's gonna. He's an Arsenal fan for one, and I just don't think he's gonna choose Chelsea over Arsenal, considering Arsenal have Champions League. They're in. All right, as of right now, I think they are gonna make top four. You know, our team is. Say that again, Jim. You cut off a little.
Depends if he wants to win things or not. That's all I got to say.
Listen, at Chelsea, he's gonna be useful. I mean, we have a spot for him. We need someone like him, so there is a place for him in the team. He's not gonna just be another, striker. He's going to be the leader in that attack. I would assume him and Nkunku, but I don't know. It depends how much we pay. Money talks. Maybe. I don't know. It's just I'm not feeling too confident.
They've got Jesus and that, and I think, like, obviously, if you're looking at availability and where would you get more game time, which is supposedly what footballers look at the most, then you'd probably say Chelsea is the biggest biggest chance of getting more games when you look at how much we lack a clinical striker, and when you look at our overall game, we do create chances, we just don't score. I think I was looking at our XG. It was quite high, wasn't it? I think we were like fourth or third or something in XG creation. So, like, we create a lot. We just can't finish it. And it's like, what would happen? And this is why I'm interested to see the second part of the season, because when Nkunku comes back in, and if we get a striker, and we still create in the manner that we do, as fans, do we expect us to be a lot more potent? And then does that mean that the overall system becomes better from what we're seeing? Because I know a lot of people are unhappy with what we're seeing, specifically sometimes in how we're playing, how we're setting up and whatever. But if we have someone at the end of these chances scoring, do you then think we'll be a lot more consistent with the system that Poch is trying to play?
That's the thing. It's so hard to say. I genuinely don't know. And the price of an Osimhen scares me. That's the thing. Like, people say Osimhen this, and not only does the price of Osimhen scares me, the fact that he did it last season, and we can disregard this season. It's that same.
Still scoring a
Darwin
few goals
Núñez.
this season.
It's that Darwin Núñez effect, right? Like, we saw Darwin Núñez was purchased for a significant amount from Liverpool, and last season didn't really cook. This season might be a different story, but
Marshall, you
it's a little
cannot call Osimhen a one-season wonder. I'm sorry. He was very good at Lille as well.
He scored 6 goals this season too, in 8 games.
I'm
It's
not
not
trying
that
to
bad.
call him a one-season wonder, but I would like to see him do it consistently.
That's the implication I get
Haaland
when
was
you're using
convincing,
Nunez.
you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Haaland's like
yeah,
the best
okay, I
Premier
see what
League
I see
striker,
what you mean.
like individual season ever.
I think what
I
scares
understand what
Chelsea
you mean.
fans is this situation that bringing Lukaku from Italy and then spending 100 mil and he turns up and he's just an absolute mess. Like, I think that's what sits in the back of our minds when you look at Italian strikers. I say Italian strikers, but it's playing in the Italian league. Strikers, I don't know, but I do look at his overall. I think profile is really key, and I think it's something that we've really struggled with for the last couple of seasons. We tend to just buy players because they've got the highest. I don't know, they're the most talented in Europe, or they've scored the most goals in Europe that season, right? And we don't really think about how it suits what we currently have or the manager that we have. And Lukaku was a good example of it. We just don't. Our recruitment was just really bad in the past, and it's just going to be interesting to see, like, when we do make the decision for a striker, who it is that they end up going for is going to be really key.
I think a lot of the fan base is going to be very, very disappointed if it's not Ivan Toney. We end up going for another, like, one of those scouted ones, which, listen, at the end of the day, I hope it works out, whatever we get, but...
It could be like an Ollie Watkins, something random, do you know what I mean? Like someone Premier League proven that's scored goals. I don't know.
I wonder what Ollie Watkins would actually do in this Chelsea team, actually, because he's obviously bagging this season and last season he did really well. How old is Ollie Watkins too?
I think he's like 28 or something.
So he's like his prime age,
Look
I
at
guess.
Yeah, similar to Tony. So.
I know this fan
Ollie
base was asking for
Watkins.
Mitrovic before he went to Saudi Arabia. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
27.
God!
do you know what I
All
mean?
right.
Yeah, but I think Mitrovic would have been more of a temporary striker until we found the right striker. Because right now the striker market is scarce. I'll admit. So I don't get on the ownership too much because of the striker situation, simply because of the scarcity of it. How little prolific strikers there are out there. We will see. We will see. Is this really a gal? I think it's a gal. I don't know.
It's a gal,
Big up
yeah.
a gal.
What's it going to say?
Good job. I disagree with the good job part, but
Yeah.
we did get the win at the end of the day. We did get the win.
That's all matters to Arsenal right now. We the thing is, it's not even just only a win. They got 2 red cards and 2 big injuries. Like Tottenham are probably
we did
this season now.
dismantle. I think we put a big dent in their season for sure. That's another positive to come out with this game. Is they have next game. They have a tough schedule coming up. I'm pretty sure.
I can look.
If I'm not mistaken. I got it. I think. Their next few fixtures for Spurs, and we completely did not help their situation. They have Wolves, Villa, Man City, West Ham, Newcastle. Yeah, they
could possibly
some
struggle
tough
to a lot of
fixtures.
those teams.
We might have ended Spurs' season here.
I think so. I think it's very likely that we did. Like it's not going to be easy for them going forward because they're missing key players. Madison being one of them also that got hurt today. We don't know how long he's going to be hurt for. The defender, the Dutch defender, I forgot his name, Van
Yeah. I think
Van de Ven.
I think
Van
he
der Ven,
might be
thank
out.
you.
He might be out for a good while.
Yeah, it looked like
Hamstring like that. He could be
yeah.
out.
So
And they got Tottenham in 3 games time as well, and then they got
Yes.
Newcastle in 5 games time. 5.
But I mean, Prime, unless you have anything to add, because I was looking to wrap it up. And big up Jen also for coming on. I appreciate you, man. Prime, you wanted to add something, some 2 cents to the game today?
Yeah, what parts have you guys spoken on so I don't go over that?
Everything.
A lot.
We've been on for 2 hours, yeah, so we pretty much touched on everything.
You can repeat whatever we want now, like what we
Yeah,
said.
you can talk whatever you want.
I'm happy we won and that we were eventually able to score goals. I'm not happy with the missed chances. Great, Jackson got a hat-trick, but like he's still not good enough. I think we started slow. I didn't see their goal that they scored. I tuned into the game, I think a couple of minutes after they scored.
It was a deflection goal, Prime. Off
Levi
Yeah.
Cole gave him a lot of space in left back. I'm not gonna lie.
We started slow,
I
but
thought down to midfield too.
we built and we grew into the game. I don't know. I just think if we take away the emotion out of it, I think it's embarrassing that it took us that long to like batter them, quote unquote, based on the scoreline. Because them playing with 9 men and playing with such a high line, we got in behind so many times and weren't able to get that final ball into the net.
Why is that a shock?
Yeah,
I don't really get it.
there's what?
Why is that a shock though to us? That's not
I
really.
didn't say that's a shock. I said it's embarrassing.
That's just Chelsea. That is just who we are. That is
I
our
know,
biggest-
and yeah, but it's still embarrassing.
It's in our DNA.
It's just.
I think
what we
yeah,
are.
but it's still embarrassing though.
Yeah,
but,
no.
like,
I think all of us
There's
are
like
embarrassed.
there's positives to take from this game. There's also a few like things. I'm maybe not saying negatives, but a few things to work on. But I'm happy that we won. We finally beaten a like a top
6
team or the season. Yeah, and let's actually take that going forward. I don't think we'll actually. Oh, take care, Jem.
Yeah, see,
Speak to you, bro.
Later, Jen. Thanks for coming on, brother.
I'm gonna actually beat a big team this season. Let's take it next weekend to Man City. I don't think we'll actually beat them, but if we can, again, same thing I said going into this game, going in against Arsenal, if we put in the performance for the full game, who knows what could happen. So start performing. For me, I want to I don't know when our next game is when we're playing a lesser opposition. Well, I want to start beating these teams now. It's all well and good performing against Spurs and performing against Arsenal, etc. Let's actually beat a Brentford. Let's beat a Forest. Let's beat these lesser sides because we're going to face them a lot more than we're going to face Man City. You know?
Against the big teams of this season, we haven't. Well, except for today, it was embarrassing. But the Arsenal game, we was the dominant team. It's just we bottled it, and then the Liverpool game, we were still better than Liverpool. Like it's just the smaller teams this season. It's like when we do so well against Arsenal and then we lose to Brentford. Like we could potentially, like the last 3 games, pulled out 7 points. What do you mean, somewhat decent? But we bottled it against Brentford.
Yeah, but
which
that's
is again.
Pardon?
Gonna keep it consistent, you know.
No, we're not consistent. We're not gonna keep.
Yeah,
it consistent.
but like this is not the time for I guess negatives or downsides. We can talk about that later.
Sure.
I'm happy that we won.
Yeah.
It shot a lot of Spurs fans up because I was hearing that we get battered in this game. And I thought that's never going to happen. Worst case scenario for us would be a draw. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm actually happy that we won. So and I'm happy. This is confidence, I guess, for us going forward. Like because all these chances we supposedly create, we were due to like batter a team, quote unquote, and to do it against Spurs unbeaten in the league.
I agree, and that's the thing. Like, you know what? At the end of the day, what Prime is saying is right. I think I'm happy we won because as much as I'm sitting here talking about performance and how we should have played and stuff, there have been so many games under better managers where we sit here and say, hey, we played well, but we didn't get the result. And for years under Mourinho, the amount of times that we got the result but didn't play well and complain about that, there was a point in the season where I wanted to revert back to that, where we just get the results. I don't care how we play as long as we get the result. And you know what? At the end of the day, I am happy that we got the result that we did. It was a little embarrassing that we couldn't put it away sooner. It was a little embarrassing that we struggled so much. But if this ends up being a confidence booster going into Man City and we can actually put up a good fight against Man City, whether we win or lose, I think most of us expect us to lose, but whether we win or lose against Man City, I think I'll be okay with it. And let's go on to the next teams and actually start doing better and getting results. I think at the end of the day, what's going to help Poch, what's going to help the team is getting results, because we're seeing the individual players start to put on better performances. We've seen Mudryk improve. We see what Palmer's doing. We see Sterling improve. We've seen Cucurella improve this season. Caicedo's been doing much, much better than the beginning of the season. Enzo will come good. Gallagher's improved this season. So there's bright parts to this team. So it's just a matter of getting the results, being more consistent about it, and we'll see where we are as a team by January. Hopefully we're still competing with top four. So we're not out of the contention yet, but let's hope we can complete. But that being said, Prime, thanks for joining us. A little late, but regardless, I'm glad you got to say.
I know. Sorry. Yeah.
It's all good, man. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Wednesday, we are going to have a call-in show. We're probably going to be discussing... Actually, you know what? I'll leave it for you guys to find out when I announce it on Wednesday. But Wednesday, come in, have your say. We're going to do a call-in show. I can't promise who's going to be there, but part of the panel will be there as well if you want to have discussions with the panel. But come in, have your say, talk with us, and let's have a discussion about Chelsea and the team in general. That being said, smash up the like buttons if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so as well, as we are on our way to 3K. Help us get to 2,300 first, and then let's work our way to 3K. Check out the links below to the socials, to my other channels. Be sure to check out the comments. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the game, what you thought about everything that we've said in this chat today. Big up to my panel, as always, Chris, Oliver, Prime, for joined us, Jem, who joined us earlier as well as Ahmed and Scott, who were here. And for those of you who are members, if you didn't know, if you're a proper casual and higher tier member, you get a shout out at the end of every show. Those members are going to go out. Those shout outs are going to go out to OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Adrian, Will, and A Solomon. Thank you guys for supporting at that proper casual and higher tier. And big up to everyone else who is a casual and a member of the channel. You guys do support the channel tremendously, so big up to you guys. But that being said, we're going to see you again on Wednesday for the Casually Chelsea call-in show, whatever you want to call it. I haven't really, just the call-in show. I haven't really come up with a name for it. But yeah, come in, have your say. I'll see you then. But till then, you guys have a wonderful night. Stay casual. Peace.